All right. And we are live. The last word with LordCognito, Ebontis, Ty Guy Travis, fresh on that Thursday evening campfire. Good to be back, gentlemen. Good to be back. I missed you guys. Take care of some business. But we got a cool guest. Before we get into that, let's start out. My man Ebontis, the cheetah. How are we doing, sir?
Stupid moment happened while you were gone. This was actually over. No, it was doing some work on the house. It was a ladder incident, which I'm recovering. I'm lucky. I'll be honest. I'm lucky. It's I'm lucky because it could have been worse. Anything related to a ladder could be worse. So I've been trying to go around all of our windows because the house is it's older and like the caulk and stuff and everything is like cracking. So I've been trying to like seal up everything just to help because it's on 1,000 degrees in the state right now.
Yeah, Texas, I feel for y'all.
So I've been trying to go around and do that, and I was working on the front, and like we have a bonus room over the garage, but there's a couple windows up there. Well, I had the ladder up there a couple days before, and just like the frame of the window, I could just like slide a screwdriver, almost a wrench in there. It's so uselessly like busted out. So I finally got some like spray foam insulation to at least put in there to start. Basically what had happened was I had the ladder against the house, but I just didn't have it tilted quite enough. So when I got up to the window, it slid down the house and I rode the ladder down. No, but there's a garage below it.
Sure.
Garage was open. So once it got to the garage level, I rode it for about 6, 7. How tall is a garage? 8 feet, free fall, just straight down and smash the ground. So I'm okay. Like, I don't know if I like, fractured a toe or something like that. You can't do shit about a toe. So there's nothing you can do for a toe. That's how it goes. But the inside of my knee hit the ground like really hard. It was really swollen. It was kind of hard to straighten it out. And it's progressively been getting better, basically. So I was like, I didn't get x-rays. It's been, no, I don't think so. It's like, cause it's been, at this point, it's just like, cause when I broke my leg when I was like 16, if you ever do something bad like that, when you stand up and the blood like flows into that area that's injured and swells, it hurts like hell. So the same thing kind of was happening here, but I think it was just a big bruise around a lot of a joint. So it's been getting progressively better by the day, but yeah, so that was like one of those moments where I'm like, that wasn't fun.
Your life flashed before you.
No, you want to know the bad thing is it didn't flash. It was a slow slide when it went down the side of the house. So it was slow motion. It was like, I was like, oh. You're like, and there's nothing I could do. I'm just sitting there like, well, and then you just. So
this is what I say to Trav. I say he needs to be thankful for the calves he has, the legs to protect it. I would have broke my leg with the legs that I have.
The muscles I got on my legs saved the body. Yeah,
Rez, he has cows, so those
calves. I have calves.
Calves.
Yeah, bro, those protected him. Those insulated the fall. See, that's what good calves.
I would have broken my scion body. He's lucky.
Yeah, that's nothing. That would have just shattered through your entire skeleton. Just everything's over.
No, I'm glad. All jokes aside, I'm glad you're okay.
Just heart attack. Just. But yeah, I mean, outside of that one, obviously been playing a fair amount of Destiny 2 between finishing up Iron Banner and now in Solstice, which we'll talk about both of those kind of in separate pieces. And then just trying to. There's a game that I got called Eldest Souls a while ago. And I played, do you know what I'm talking about, Travis? It's like a little, basically 2D kind of isometric boss rush thing. And I played like 4 or 5 of the bosses, but I didn't get to all of them. And I kind of got to a point where I was like, all right, now I got to wander around, find somebody, and just kind of fell off of it for something. I kind of picked it back up and I downed one of the bosses. And now I'm working on, I downed 2 of the bosses. And now I literally just have to figure out where like the last 2 are. And I can kind of check that box for another indie this year. So I've just been having fun with little games. After Elden Ring, I want little stuff right now because Horizon's my next big one. That's where I eventually got to go back. So that's what I've been up to. Yeah, Falling Ladder story could have been much worse. A little bit of massive coincidence. My dad is going to turn 80 this year, and my mom was very pissed at my dad for this because while she was gone, he was on a ladder changing a smoke detector in their house. He actually fell and cracked 5 ribs.
Oh my!
So
his family did.
My girlfriend's dad fell off a ladder like last week. Now that you mentioned this, he broke his clavicle, his collarbone.
Oh,
I completely forgot about that until you. Sorry.
Let's stay
So
away
one
from
piece of
ladders.
one piece of
Jumping in.
advice: have 2 people around a ladder for one. Make sure 2-person job. That's the big thing. Do it.
Yes.
Don't be like, oh, I'm just gonna go knock this stuff out. Get that other
Mhm.
person in there.
Yeah,
So.
for
Better
sure.
idea. Stay away from ladders. Pay somebody else to do it. Someone who's expendable.
Excuse me.
Out there.
Yeah.
Can you turn yourself up just a little bit,
Yeah,
Travis?
Trav's a little low. Trav's a little low.
Oh,
I can turn myself
sounded
up.
okay to me.
Yeah,
I didn't say on. I said up. Thank you very much.
I said up to you, sick monster.
Well, what have you been up to, you sick bet?
Is that loud enough? I turned my gain up.
Yeah, you're good. You're better now.
You're good. You're good.
I
Trav?
finished Xenoblade Chronicles 3.
It is done.
It is done. I am most of the way
Hallelujah.
through writing the review. I'm going to put the finishing touches on the review tonight, do edits tomorrow, do my VO and annotations over the weekend, and then be ready for it to go live on Tuesday because the video team needs it by Monday. So
I was like,
got a
when is your piece due?
it's due. Well, I have to turn it in tomorrow morning, so I have to finish it tonight. But
Damn.
it goes live on Tuesday morning because the video team needs Monday to actually work on it.
Do you feel the community will understand whatever score you're going to give it?
I don't claim to judge a psychopathic cluster of minds. I will tell you this: it is very troubling that I did a preview like 2 weeks ago, and in it, my preview was overwhelmingly positive. However, I made the fatal error of mispronouncing a single word.
Boy.
I was supposed to say Ouroboros, and I accidentally said Ouroboros. Pretty simple mistake. It's just a slip of the tongue.
Seems reasonable.
Yeah. I mean,
however, I have been flamed on Reddit, and people have DM'd me on Twitter and basically claimed that I'm a moron because I added an S on accident to a single word. So this is a community that, as you know, is extremely forgiving and understanding and rational. And so I'm sure that whatever review score I give or whatever I say in my review, they will take it with grace and dignity, and it'll all work out well. So
wow, the Xenoblade community is out.
I'm gonna guess it's gonna be an 8, just because I feel like that's probably where it should land. I feel like Xenoblade's like a really enjoyed franchise, but I feel like Travis is a fair reviewer. So it's like, I don't know if I see that thing as a masterpiece. If nothing else, I feel like the Switch might be holding it back, but I feel like it could be an enjoyable game. 150 hours. I'm going to throw that one out there. We'll see next week if I'm right. Just random guess, having no information at all. What about you, Cog? What have you been up to?
I cannot comment on that, but
I know. That's what I said. I'm saying complete and total shot in the dark guess. Yeah, exactly. So we will see next week.
I also have a preview going live on that same morning, Tuesday morning, for Roller Drome, which is that rollerblading video game where you have guns.
Yes.
From the PlayStation.
Yeah.
PlayStation
Yes.
a couple months ago. Yeah, so I'm doing a preview on that. That might be an IGN exclusive. I'm not sure. But yeah, that'll be live on Tuesday as well. So I got some things coming. I have had 0 time to play Destiny because I was doing 50 hours of Xenoblade per week for 3 weeks. But I'm now done with that, and so I'm excited to get back in, see what this Solstice event is about. I completely missed Iron Banner. I guess I'm just gonna have to wait till next season for that. I just didn't have a look at time. So
hey, brother.
yeah. Honestly, I feel like I dodged a bullet though because I was reading how
it was
much.
Yeah, Cog did that in the right week, but we'll get to that. But yeah, Cog did that one in a proper week.
Feeling pretty good over here. My life decisions. So yeah. Anyway, that's me. McClunky, everyone. I didn't say McClunky.
Senor Cognitos.
Yes. Well, first of all, salute to you guys for holding it down. You know what I'm saying? Last week had so much going on, and then salute to everybody. You know, say Crip Boff, I apologize, brother. Next time. You know,
hey, his internet apologizes. It's all good. He'll be stateside next time we get him back on. So it's fine.
Yeah, we gotta get it, man. We'll do it right. We'll
get it right when he's stateside. No worries.
With the internet and then my situation. But yeah, for me, it's kind of in the same boat as Trav, man. I've just been so busy. And then I did make a business decision where mentally I needed a break after I did that Iron Lord title. And I was saying to myself, I am not jumping in there. And I see my clan in there. I was like, I am not doing that. And I got the hooks of the Rocket Blade Point in me right now.
Yeah, I've seen you
I'm
playing
actually
that.
having fun. And
That's a game
enjoying
I
it.
should probably jump into, just
Oh.
because it's like physical, like melee combat. I feel like it's like something I should 100% be playing.
It's like a fighting game meets like Chinese lore with some Dynasty Warriors kind of thing, with amazing Spider-Man type traversal with grappling.
Is it like
hooks.
kind of the Sekiro grappling hook I feel like I've seen in a clip here or there
Very
too?
very much Sekiro as a battle royale. Like,
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh.
And then what it's all right. First of all, it has the worst. I gotta say, it's the worst UI I've ever seen. You can tell this is clearly a PC game. Like this is not a good UI. But like, it's so much intricacies to the game, and it's like a rock paper scissors with the way the fighting is once you learn it. And it's really engrossing. Then they have like this little Fall Guys mode right now. It's funny and it's really good. Like I'm thoroughly addicted. The thing that I think that separates it for me, because I'm such a fighting game enthusiast, is that most battle royales, everyone is the same. It's just what you pick up on the battlefield and so on and so forth. But what makes this unique is every character has a skill set and then a special ultimate ability. So that's where it's like there's this one little Shaolin monk, and
So
he can
it's like
turn into this
Apex plus Sekiro.
Yeah, it's great.
Like hero
but
characters in Sekiro. Gotcha.
Yes.
like a hero hack and slash instead of a hero
Yes.
shooter.
Makes sense.
It's so good. And just the way their take on it is just really cool.
I feel that was
and
in like
whimsical.
not beta, but like early access. I feel like that game had like a year, or it was out for a long time, right?
Yeah.
What'd you
Bro,
say it was called?
Naraka
Blade Point. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I've also been playing that cog. I mean,
I
I had
see.
to take a hiatus because of the reviews, but yeah, I'm really enjoying that game and been playing it with some of my friends and all that. So
Yeah,
check
I
it
really like it, man.
Oh,
So, yeah,
wow.
I've been
That
doing
looks
that.
pretty dope.
Yeah,
Game Pass.
It's Ninja BR. Yeah. I found the BR for me. The
Yeah,
Ninja.
you did.
I am
Ninja Battle
thoroughly
Royale.
addicted.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm thoroughly
dope.
addicted. So yeah, I've been doing that, and then as you guys know, As Dusk Falls, I've been rocking that. So it's been a fun break. Play a little Fall Guys on the side with the Lords. It's been a fun break, but just like Trav, this is the week I'm coming back home. I see Solstice. I started watching the Ebontis video. You know what I'm saying? Trying to see what the strats and all
Please
the
watch that
things.
video. Definitely helps out the channel.
Yes, it helps out the channel. You know what I'm saying? But look, enough about me rambling. We got this great guest that's been very patient.
Indeed. Yes,
Yeah,
you may have heard him.
got a shirt I don't like.
May have
but
heard a couple
still great.
comments. So let's do this. Welcome to The Last Word, episode number 207. Iron Banner has wrapped up for this season, and those who grinded for the Iron Lord title this time had a longer road to get their title. Solstice is in full swing with some changes from last year, and Bungie dropped a teaser to get us all hyped for the future of the franchise. This week, we are joined by a very cool customer and guest. He's been gaming on both console and PC for about as long as both have existed. This man's creative mind also started very young, with many of his formative years were spent in his high school art teacher's classroom. Up to 4 hours in one day, I heard. So when you take a look at any piece of his hard work, you know that he wants to respect any reference material that may be involved, but they are always bleeding with his own stylings as you look deeper into his work. This man has so many layers that even the name he goes by on the internet has multiple meanings. So it's fitting that he really can't quite make up his mind or make a decision when the time comes for it. So let's welcome a man who has lived on both coasts, but currently is in the Northwest, who has a bit of a green thumb when it comes to gardening, but we're not going to talk about that one today. A Ninja Turtle fan, amongst many other topics. An artist who knows that pixels really do come alive when the lights go out. And who has worked with the Massive Breakdown podcast, Blueberries.gg, and with Bungie as part of the Guardians Mental Health. The one, the only, Irrezolut. How you doing, sir?
I'm pretty good. How are y'all?
Doing great.
Yeah.
Happy to have you here.
Yeah, thank you. I'm glad to be on.
Rez, what's going on, man? So we had some little pre-game talk beforehand, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
A little bit,
Sure.
but I wanted to talk some gaming, man. You got some interesting gaming history about those burst consoles and systems that got you into
man.
gaming. Some standouts there, sir, that you want to bring to everyone's knowledge?
I mean, like, it might be kind of vanilla, but it was really like the NES and the Super NES that kind of got me in, like all the way in. We had we had all sorts of stuff in the house when I was a kid. We had like a Coleco style, like hook up to the TV.
Talk, let's go.
Yeah, dude. It was like the joystick that looked very much just like the one stick with the button and the button on the thing, and you just like the old school Atari one. I mean, we had an Atari as well and stuff like that, but it wasn't until we got like an NES with the original, Duck Hunt Mario combo.
It's the combo pack,
right?
Yeah,
and then started getting like the Zelda games, and then Final Fantasy, and we got all of them. We would go to the Toys R Us and look through and look at the back of the thing on each one.
Pull off the yellow tab, take it to the
front. and
old people
then,
continue.
yeah, for real. And then they got
right there with you.
They got the Super Nintendo with the Street Fighter cartridge in it at the Toys R Us, and we were like, we have to get this, and so we got that. And then like every Christmas, it was like getting more games for that, and getting a PlayStation, getting a computer. Like I started doing graphic design stuff when I was pretty young and still in high school, so I always had like a PC that could sort of play games, and so I played a lot of different things, usually at like minimum settings, but still got some time in on all those things. But yeah, like early days, everybody remembers the 8-bit and 16-bit stuff because it's still like it persists. That stuff persists not only as classics, but as like people make things inside those constraints as like a genre sort of thing now. It's super cool. So I've had a good time being into games for so long.
Very cool history. You got some questions for the man before we pass off?
Oh, no, I mean, just when it comes to most people obviously do the 8-bit console, the Super Nintendo, the PlayStation 1, but the fact that you've been on PC just as long, I was curious if that helped like get you into art as kind of access to it, or how did do you think the PC access actually helped the kind of digital artistry or anything of that nature happen, or do you think that's done anything for you?
I mean, that's a good question. I think so, maybe just because it's like I was kind of soaked in it, you know what I mean? Like there was always computers in the house, or like at the schools I went to, they always had something, and just having like I legit remember one of the very first times I ever saw art be made with a computer, and it was in a gymnasium at Sherwood Forest Elementary School in Winston-Salem in like 1988, and it was a dude that was like, check it out, I can make this circle, and then I can change the color of the circle, and then I can erase the middle of it, and then I can make the top blue and the bottom red, and I made the Pepsi logo. And I was like, he made the Pepsi logo. How'd he do that? Like, and
mesmerized.
I mean, I think I was like 7 or something, 7 or 8, right? I was so young. It was when I was in grade school, and we had a computer at home, but it couldn't do that. Like it absolutely could not do that. And then a couple years later, we got a Mario Paint cartridge, and I was like, I kind of do have a computer that can do that.
There you go.
And so like I did understand all that stuff pretty early on because there was always a little bit of a connection to it. And then once I started actually doing graphic stuff when I was in high school, I had to have something that could actually, had a little bit of weight to it, a little bit of muscle as far as like the processor and the RAM and stuff went. And so I really could just start kind of adding in like more and more game stuff and going back to because I'd always played games on PC, but never like a lot of them, right? I wasn't like huge into any single PC game or anything because I liked to do so many of the other ones. Like
you held it old and true with the Oregon Trail on the DOS prompt screen.
We did have that at my school in like 4th, 5th grade, right? Like that was we had math blasters, number munchers, right?
And I feel like there's a frog math thing too, or something.
Yep, the frog, like it's a vector drawing thing, and then there was so much, dude. Like and all that stuff, like there's actually things I remember learning about like vector pathing when I was a kid that I understand now and still use when I'm using like Adobe Illustrator, right? Like it's one of those things that's just been like a saturation effect, really.
Cool.
Nice.
Trav, any questions for the man?
Mario Paint, huh?
Yeah, dude. Like include up to and including like programming the little music thing with it and like having it play tunes and stuff. Mario Paint was amazing.
It was the jam.
Beautiful. Was that your first? What game did you first? What was the first game you mained?
Oh,
You know what I mean?
Probably
That's
like
the
Street
game
Fighter Alpha on the SNES. I played that for like an entire summer, and they had a Street Fighter Alpha cabinet at the ice rink that I used to go to like every weekend when I lived in a place called Reston, Virginia.
Reston. I know
Yeah,
Reston.
dude. I actually kept going to that ice skating rink for years and years because there was the head of a mountain bike trail in like the back of the parking lot, and so like as like a teenager and then as an adult, I would go there for like other reasons. It was great. It was cool, but they had a really good, like a solid, just straight. They had like no other arcade games. They had a Street Fighter Alpha arcade cabinet there,
Wow.
and we would play that before like the free skate on like Friday and Saturday nights. And I had a copy of it on like home console. I had it on a Super Nintendo. And the cartridge for that was wild. It was so huge. It was like extra size. They had like more. They had, I think, the board inside the cartridge was bigger to like deal with the fact that there was so much on it. But it was like that was one of my favorite games when I was a kid.
Alpha classic, yeah, man, absolutely. Remember that one?
I was an Akuma main, so awful, you know.
Yeah, you're one of those. See, I'm trying to think. It was like Street Fighter. I think just 2 on SNES is the one I remember playing. Probably the most. Yeah, that was the one I remember the most for me. Yeah,
absolutely, huge. Yeah, man. So then you're doing your gaming and kind of fast forward. I know we're gonna get into the career stuff and what you do, but I want to focus a little bit on the Destiny a little bit. You know, how did that whole attraction start?
Yeah, I mean,
well, story. That's what I wanted you to tell it.
I think like everybody kind of has some, you know, lore to how they got to it. But like I played Halo, right? 1, 2, and 3 like easy. I played 2 and 3 like full co-op, couch co-op with a friend. That's how I beat those.
Man, it would have been nice to do that with the new one. Sorry, continue.
Yeah, go listen to
please. Say about that, dude.
Please go listen to Defining Duke as they talk about the woes of that game.
Man.
So man, you can do it right now. You can play it right now.
Oh, it's released. The full release.
I almost got to play on the
I'll boot up my Halo Infinite, see if it's there.
Yeah, it was the thing where it's like I almost got to play a test flight early, but then it was like, oh, you also have to have been invited. And I was like, fine, I'll just wait. Like it probably just be a little while till they open it up to more people.
Yeah,
so.
I'm just gonna wait.
So I only have the multiplayer installed still for Halo.
But you can't play it, Cog?
No. I've got the the Insider.
Insider.
Insider beta thing. But I'm gonna wait because I want to do it the right way.
But yeah, so like it was like 2014, right? So I'm walking around Target. I don't even remember what I was there for. It's probably just like socks or whatever, right? And it's Target. What are you going to Target for? So many things.
You can go in Target and walk out of there with about 20 different things. So yeah, Target can be trouble.
Target, sir.
Like so,
that's the only reason you hold on. The only reason you say Target is if you're talking down about Walmart. It's like what?
Listen, there's levels to this.
And then Travis is out there in San Francisco. What is Target? I've only got Whole Foods and then upgraded Whole Foods. We don't even have these things.
Trav, it's not even there. That's right.
I mean, San Francisco is pretty against like larger companies. I know Walmart's not allowed in San Francisco.
I didn't even realize how crazy.
They're anti-union. It's crazy. Anyway,
you're right.
It took a long time for there to be places like that in DC too, and it was largely for the same reason, but they edged in, over time.
Shout out to Addict. Dropping into chat. What's up, sir? Everything Travis says is right. Hey, there you go.
There
you go. Good stuff.
I think because I slandered Halo, I think now he betrayed me. He's on Travis' side. Continue.
I mean,
so Target, right? And I saw the display and I was just like, oh, I'll try this out. And I started playing it and I didn't really like it, honestly. Like at first I was playing Destiny 1 and I was just like, this feels weird. Like I had picked Hunter. Reaction. Well, I picked Hunter because I thought it looked cool. And I was like, okay, cool, I'm gonna try this one out. And it just felt like off to me. I know why now, but at the time I was like so confused. I was like, this seems really cool. Like I'm into all this, like this screen with the armor and the guns, and like I want to try this. And I switched over to Titan because I was like looking at the cover. I was like, this guy looks like Master Chief. I know that's not incredibly creative for me to be like, Titans look like Spartans, like a lot, a lot. Especially in Destiny 1, they looked a lot like Spartans.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
And I was like, I wonder if that means like it'll play like Master Chief does. And it kind of did. Like it felt a little bit like that Bungie magic that I could remember feeling playing the Halo games. And I was like, oh shit. So I was really interested. I started like just playing the hell of it. And I had a roommate at the time. And I was like, you have to try this. Like we played couch co-op together. You have to try this game. And he started playing it, and I like came downstairs next morning, and he had stayed up all night playing it. I was like, "It's good, isn't it? Like this feels wild, doesn't it?" And he was like, "It does." And I was like, "I'm gonna buy another Xbox so we can have 2 of these." Like, and I was living in the place we were living at was a shared like art studio rehearsal space for musicians, and we had a big projector. We had a huge projector like that was like 40, 60 like inch like tall, and it was probably like 15, 16 feet wide, easy. And it was just like the over top of the stage where people rehearsed. And I had just set up like I had the console plugged into the projector like right behind me, and I was like sitting on a little recliner. I just played Destiny 1 on an Xbox for hours with a buddy, like 40 feet away in the other room. Started doing raids and stuff through that. Started, finding different community members, and like it just fast forward, I don't know however many years it's been now. Time has become like squishy in the last 3 years, but like ever since then, like I took a little bit of a break at the end of D1. I didn't do some of the stuff in Rise of Iron. Like I just fell off before that because there was a lot going on inside different groups of people that I was playing with, and a bunch of stuff came out. Like you were saying before we started, like you're gonna play Horizon, or maybe just that might have been a few minutes ago. I have brains noodles, but like it was one of the games that was one of the things that pulled me off of Destiny 1. It was like only stuff like Final Fantasy 15 and Horizon Zero Dawn coming out that it was like you're getting pulled away from this thing. And I mean that's a pretty good run for a game. You're talking about mini games earlier. Like that's having something that can like keep you engaged for that long without having to just like constantly buy new titles or everything is like that's pretty good value prop, right? That's like you're getting a lot out of it. And now even you see what they're building every 3 months or so is just like this is what I wanted when I first engaged with Destiny. It's like this is everything. I think well I guess it's probably impossible to say everything, but it's a lot of what people have been asking for a long time. Let's
not talk about that part.
That's a whole thing.
It
is wild though that like people have made the joke and continue to make the joke like it's the best that Destiny's ever been, and it's like a lot of times that's very true. Like they put in a lot of effort, and there's really cool stuff for a lot of different player types. Like there's always something to find that you don't jive with exactly, like that doesn't work for you, and for a lot of people maybe it's been the way PvP has shifted, but like there's still a ton in there that I think works for just about everybody. People keep coming back even though they don't like PvP anyway. So like,
people keep coming back. That is true. That is true.
I do also. Like, I'm probably gonna play Trials a little bit this weekend. Probably. Like pain.
No doubt. And then he seems to have the. What'd you say, Trav?
It's every PvP main has the same attitude. It's like, I hate it. I can't stop playing it. Or garbage for dinner.
What were you gonna say, Cog?
Yeah.
No, I said that it's also this amazing skill set Rez has.
I know.
Yeah, let's talk about that.
So yeah, it's like your world of artistry, like your paintings and stuff. You got a full website, sold a ton of them now. Obviously we talked about you kind of getting into art. I joked in the intro where even in high school, where you got later on in high school, where you're spending half of your day in your art teacher's classroom. So what got you into art? What were the hooks? And then kind of how has that progressed into now doing a bunch of Destiny art? So let's get the art story.
So yeah, I mean, I've been drawing since I was a little kid. It's funny, young Khan, you'll probably know who Lance is.
Yeah, we had him on a while ago.
Amazing artist, really good dude.
Mm-hmm.
I met him in Guardian Con in 2000. 17, I think. And he just
that's where I met
he
him.
was like,
Yeah.
your art looks like kind of like my art. We should be friends. And I was like, yes. Like,
Sure.
he's a very direct dude and very friendly.
Yeah.
It was so fun to meet him. But like, he had shared that one of the first things he ever did was like drawing Ninja Turtles. And I remembered, it made me think of like time literally like sitting on the floor in house when I was like 6 years old, like looking at a Ninja Turtle action figure and like trying to draw it, like trying to take the reference and trying to like, I really like this thing, this Donatello. He's my favorite. Let me just
He's a Don, man. Let's go.
Dude, it
All
was
right,
great. Like,
Donatello's a good one.
Yeah,
I mean,
he does. He does machines. Why wouldn't you like it?
yeah.
Like
I
Got the nerd. Yeah, it's like
big nerd, super into it, right?
Yeah.
But like, I just remember trying to draw it and thinking like, this is like fun, and that's started like a long. I must have been doing something before that, right? But I don't exactly remember, and I just remember like always putting pen on pad and like finding whatever. My parents started getting me like pencils, paper, right, sketchbooks when I was a kid. In high school, they let all the students do this. Most of them didn't, but you could pick like your diploma type. And one of them was you've got to do a bunch of language credits, you got to do a bunch of math. And I was like, no, please, thank you. What else? Do you have a second option? And they were like, you could do this one, but most people don't because colleges don't like that. And I was like, whatever, fine. And it was, you could take a bunch of electives. In especially like your junior and senior year, you could just take tons of electives. And I was able to take like every one of the art classes that were about doing like studio work. So I had like an AP art history class and an AP art studio class and a printing class and a graphic design class and like just the regular art classes. And so it ended up being in every day going to, even this is like public high school. This wasn't like an arts magnet school or anything like that. This is just like Herndon High School in Virginia, right? So it's just like, they just let me stack everything, and it was the same teacher. She was just like, yes, just come here, stay. And eventually it even got to the point where towards like the end of my senior year, she'd be like, are you done? Just go home. I'm tired of you. Like, you're a lot today, dude. And just
You're a lot today.
and because it also was like, there were milestones in those too, because it was unlike some of them were AP classes, right? They're like college credit classes. So they were like, just do this much because you're going to like, your final is going to be, you're going to present all of this at like an art show. And she knew so long as I got that stuff done and submitted like all this paperwork and did everything. Her name was Leslie Casey. She was amazing. She died a couple years back. She was like my favorite person in high school. And I learned a ton from her. And a lot of it was that she just kind of let me like roll, and like, she would give me some instruction and like nudges and pushes and be like, we have this piece of equipment. We got it over the summer. Do you want to learn this one too? And it's like, yes. So it was just like a pretty rad way to do it. And then went to art school in Washington, D.C. at an art school that went out of business. So, got an associate's degree from them. And they were actually like, for real, the story is the George Washington University, which is a big university in DC, which is primarily like a law, history, and medical school. Like, they had an art school, and they split off, and they connected with one of the privately owned museums in the city that was called the Corcoran, and they made a school there. And it was mostly in the basement of the school for a really long time, and they mostly only taught painting for like a really long time and illustration. And then when I started going there in like 2002, they had like a digital program. They had graphic design and stuff. Nice. So I did that, and it was great. I mean, it was kind of weird that like DC, not really like an art place so much, unless you're talking like the history museums, which they have a lot of, and they have a lot.
They have a lot of museums.
But, like, it's not. There wasn't really like an art scene or anything, and so I just did a lot of different stuff until probably only about, I think it's like 5 or 6 years ago is when I started messing with it. I started doing a little bit of video game art, and to be honest, it was like a lot of it started. I started actually thinking and becoming more inspired than I ever had been when I started playing D1, because a lot of the look of the way that weapons and like architecture and vehicles and stuff, and I was just like, this is like so inspiring. And so I just wanted to kind of like tear them out and think of each individual weapon as like, literally the first sketch I ever did was like a side view of the multi-tool, the mighty multi-tool. And I had that original like layout of that painting that I did in my head for like 4 years before I even did it. And then maybe not 4, like 2 or 3, something like that. whatever long it is from 2014 to 2017 or 18, I think. Time again, so bad at that. But like, it finally pulled that out, and then it was like unplugging, like, letting the dam just like burst open. And I had been doing like 1 or 2 paintings a year, 1 or 2 like big projects a year while working in IT in like downtown DC and stuff like that. And I was getting tired of it, and I took a jump and started doing it pretty much full time. And I've been kind of on and off full time since then. I mean, the pandemic has been kind of wild in terms of the way it affected everything. I was a redacted farmer for a while that I told y'all about. It's a big plant. It's tall. It's like a tree. It's green.
You ain't redacted much right now.
A lot of farms have plants that probably sound like what I just said.
It's corn.
But it's it's like,
as he passed through the Midwest, he farmed corn.
Yes,
sure, exactly. Yeah, no, but yeah, it's I do, aside from the credits that y'all listed off, I do like a couple other things. I work for like I do contract work for like a small educational company that makes like, I think it's K through 5, K through 6, something like that, reading and comprehension skill stuff. It's pretty cool. Like, the lady who hired me was like, a lot of people find it boring, and I was like, a lot of people need a paycheck. So like, I do it, and it's nice too, because it's like, it's actually kind of, it's I'm struggling to think of the word, but it builds things, you know what I mean? It's like constructive. It's not a destructive. I'm not doing graphic design for a company that's out there like tearing down the rainforest or making actual weapons or something like that, right? Like I'm working for somebody that makes learning materials, and then the stuff I do where I work for, get contracted for, different things with other companies. I try to stick with places that are like, have a positive impact on the world. And that's why when Guardians asked me to help them, I was definitely into that. And Rick at Blueberries he makes content for people who want to learn how to play the game, like who want to come into Destiny and get better at it. And that's the same thing with Massive Breakdowns too, is like, I was gravitated towards them for so long because I was always thinking about how to get better at the game, how to get better at PvP, especially because I'm terrible at it, and there's like so much room for growth there. But like, it's fun.
We have a long running segment here.
It's I mean, and it's fun to like connect with these folks who know those things. Like, I love when people know like about a build or something that gets you further because you experimented, or you went and you did the research, and the community had come together and built this tool that you could snap in like with your dim. Like, there's the dude Mijago who built the armor picker. I'm pointing at my screen like y'all can see it, but like
this thing over here that totally makes sense right now.
This dude,
it's a plugin, but like, that was huge. Like, finding people who had built so many like constructive and functional pieces of the community, and being like, you can like plug these 2 things in together, and this person designed this to fit with this, and I'm just like, I have a tier 3 armor build now. Like,
there you go. Salute.
It's good stuff.
Yeah, I was like, I think Destiny has had quite a journey for all of us. Sounds like yours has been kind of 2 tracks at the same time, both the game and then the art appreciation, as well as kind of, you're doubly vested in the game. We typically just have the gaming side, and you've got
all of us are actually.
Well, content creation, podcasting. Yeah, we're all over. Yeah, that's true. We got multiple facets of our lives.
Literally all thing.
Yeah. For how long the game got previewed, by the time this saga finishes, it's going to be like a quarter of my life that this game has been around.
Have you guys ever thought of if you would still play Destiny if you didn't do something for it?
Oh yeah, and the other way around too. Like, I'm going to keep playing this game, and I want to stop like making content for it. I mean,
like, I wonder all the time, like, would I play Destiny if I didn't have to?
See, I was the last of my friends to keep going.
Yeah.
So it was like, I was the one doing the solo stuff because
you do all your events solo.
Yeah, so like that's most of my friends fell off, so I had to get through a bunch of stuff on, but like, I don't have anybody to play with, but I gotta get a Nightfall done. Let's figure this stuff out. Like, it was that kind of thing. So I mean, some of that was, and it has always been this thing that has had a good cadence of releases now. But as you said on the other side, Basically, I got about 9 hours out of Breath of the Wild, and then Destiny pulled me away. I didn't really get to Horizon until this year because of Destiny. So it's been also the opposite of maybe there's stuff I wouldn't have missed if I wouldn't have been covering it, but on the other side, it's been a hell of it. So it's been a bit of both. I mean, yeah, it's hard to know for sure.
Yeah,
How
I'd
long
still
did
be
it take
playing
you
it.
guys for your friends to pull away from you on Destiny?
So it was probably after Warmind for me. Most of the people
Oh
I played
wow, that's long.
PS4 kind of bailed. But I switched over to PC to main maybe
The day it launched?
halfway. No, I mean I played it when it launched on PC also because I was very curious how it would feel.
Yeah, how it
And
would run. That was a big deal.
amazing. But like I picked it back up again maybe like 4 or 5 months later, and I had a buddy that had also done the same thing, and he was like finally another person. So we duoed a bunch of stuff
Nice.
from
That's funny.
you know
I think my friends left 2 weeks after D1 launched. It was like a very short window, and then I was running solo for until today basically. So yeah, it's interesting.
No. Yeah, for me it was people were there for the beginning, but
Well, you were
I
in late, right? Because you were a Destiny hater for a while.
no, I was a Destiny hater. I liked the I was it the alpha? No, the beta, because PlayStation had the alpha, and then Xbox had the beta. I was in the beta, I liked it, played the campaign, and I'm like, I don't get it. Like, I mean, don't get me wrong, I liked the feel of the game. And I thought it looked cool. But I played it like a traditional game, like it was a start and a finish. When I finished, and then the speaker did that little speech and then I'm like,
the stranger gives the gun in the hangar.
I'm like,
you're like, where is this epic Halo story finish going on?
That's just the end, the quote unquote what I thought was the end left a kind of sour taste in my mouth. So I was like, all right, I'm done. And it wasn't for, like I said, shout out to my friend Sinister. It's like, no, the whole forever 28 and get to level 30, and then we got to do this raid. And I'm like, for what? Like, I've done what I had to do. He's like, no, bro, you have to. Yeah, I was like, for what?
Was this VOG time, or was this like
VOG? Yeah, and that's why VOG is always gonna have a special place, because I was done with this game. I was just like, yeah, whatever. And I'm like, yo, what is this? This is crazy. Like 6 people doing something and figuring things out, and the game's not holding my hand nor telling me. And it was just moments.
It's actively pushing you down.
Yeah,
and going, why did you do this?
Yeah, it's funny because I can't jump on this platform, and I'm like, all right. And then the oracles was a fun thing. It was like, all right, shh, listen to the beeps.
Yeah.
And I'm like, all right, okay, I see that one. That one. It was just little fun, goofy things that I've never seen a game cooperatively do for console in an FPS space.
There literally had been. It's like it followed kind of the path of the way that like WoW did certain things.
Yes.
And I had played Final Fantasy 11, so I was familiar with doing like large group content.
Oh,
like,
okay.
It was like feeling that in first person was
it blew my mind. I never did anything cooperatively like that before. And it was puzzle solving, it was platforming, the DPS phase stuff, bosses. I'm like, yo, what is this? This is Revenant. Then I'm like, I became the champion defender of Destiny, and you are not gonna slander this game, because I would pull like a Travis, like I would call him up. Did you do the raid? But did you do the raid though? Oh no, I didn't do the raid. Shut up, because you didn't do the raid. Then you get back to me, do the raid. And then I started converting people. It was like a church of cog. It was like, yeah, you did the raid now. Now it's all good. And then people.
And then the pastor left for PC, and then his congregation was mad for a while.
You were
and I was the devil on your shoulder who pulled you out of the out of church.
Yeah, you was from that rival church over there.
Church of Unlimited Frames? Was that the church?
Church of 60 frames, the Church of FOV and all that stuff.
FOV and all. Yeah,
I recently switched to an ultra wide monitor.
My buddy just did that too.
Mess with the FOV even further.
Are you serious?
It's
Beautiful.
so good. It's so good.
Oh, my buddy,
extra peripheral vision in everything you play.
My buddy just did. It was the new. I think it's the Alienware Quantum Dot ultra wide. That's like pretty recent. So it's like 240 hertz, 1440 Quantum Dot. Like, and he's been messing. He's like, I always like gave ultra wides a hard time. He's like, damn it. And he loves it now. It's like, I got my 4K 144 HDR, and that's like, but then, the ultra wide would be the nice piece to have, but I can't have all of them right now.
And all you have to do is spend 30 hours a week maintaining your PC.
Yeah. I mean,
I don't, though. I really don't. That's the thing. Like, as long as you don't pour a bucket of liquid in the top of your PC, you'll be okay. That was a lie. That happened live to me on that. Yes, I know. Believe me, you should not.
Bro,
yeah, that was a heart attack and a half.
We had Tom Warren on from The Verge.
Yeah, we had a
big guest.
Yeah, big guest on right before the show. Like, we're in pre-chat like we were before. Yeah, and I had like a whole ice shaker of Advanced GG mixed, by the way. And like the top, like I knocked it and it goes into the top, and I had recently got a case that the top is open. So it's got high airflow, like exhaust fan. So it just went in and it dripped down the entire, it's red. I pulled the plug. I ripped everything. I think I was bathing it in alcohol at a point in time.
Yeah.
Like, it's still alive. So it lived, but man, nearly crapped my pants on that one.
And we were like, what is going on with E? And then he just drops.
I jumped back in the Discord call.
Frozen like this.
Yeah, he goes, oh shit.
I jumped back in the Discord call, and I was just, my wife is one of those moments where like your wife knows you well enough. She just heard me cursing constantly. And she was like, I just left you in the room. I knew you were okay, but I'm not going to get near it.
I was scared to death for you. Shout out to New York. He said, that's liquid cooling.
That's liquid cooling, yeah. Unfortunately, the only way to really do that's mineral oil, but yeah, it's a whole different fun project.
That's the story of why he started hating sauces, especially earth sauce. They did him dirty.
What that earth sauce, man.
Oh my God.
Seriously, you guys are still...
That was a day.
All right. Well, we got some stuff going on in this game. That was a nice little transition fun piece there. A little throwback memory pain. It's fine. Now I'm hurting in the head and in the knee, so it's good. No, so Iron Banner. I did actually get the title. Did it the night before because they had like 3.5 hour maintenance, so I was not going to be able to get up and get it. I did polish that title off. I think I got it at like midnight, went to bed, and I was like, cool.
Nice.
I wanted to get your guys' thoughts on Iron Banner on Rift. They did get the Mercy changes. If you guys, I know Travis, you hadn't been, but for those of you guys did play, how is Iron Banner? How did Rift end up for you guys? How did it go? Because I know Cog, you didn't play with Mercy because you were done. But you had a faster run through the title than I did.
For a special someone in the chat that's here that wants to hear the story. When it's my turn,
I mean, you can't just like leave us hanging. Right. That's like jumping on the end of the diving board and being like,
apologies. Shout out to my clan, man. He's in the chat right now, very salty. DJ Oros. You hear the name off.
Second place.
Oh, that's too soon.
Got him.
This Cavs a song. That's too soon. Anyway, shout out to DJ Oros.
DJ has left the chat is what it should say right now.
So, remember we had the conversation before when Banner was announced. We were all concerned like, the limited time, there's only two weeks or whatever that you could do it. How would it work? What if you miss it? He was in that situation where he literally had to work predominantly the first week it was out.
Yep.
Now, in his defense, it was double XP that week, right? I was in there grinding because I'm like, you know what? I don't know how. It was one of those rare moments, Trav, work-wise, where I'm like, I don't got a lot going on with covering games. Let me knock it out. And I did the grind. The hardest part was just the prestiging the two times and the objective portion. Make sure you touch the spark, kill somebody with spark. Touch the spark just to get that progression, right? So I get it. At the 11th hour, knock it out. So now Iron Banner comes back around. I am so burnt out I'm like, I am not touching that. I am not doing that. I'm taking a mental destiny break. I see my whole clan in there. Nope, I'm over here. I'll be over here doing the Rocket Blade point or playing these other one-player games. This is what I'm doing to mentally decompress from that torture that I went through, right? So I'm watching him, and my poor boy, man, DJ, he's like the last day he's grinding. And literally, Bungie says, like, what is it, a couple of hours before reset.
They have 1 hour longer maintenance than they
with
had.
the maintenance. And it's 1 hour longer than we normally do. And we're doing it before the reset. And he put a screenshot of all he needs is the prestige, the second one. And the circle is 90%.
Oh no!
With that little opening. And he's trying to grind. And they shut it off. He's like, Cog, I can't get in. And I'm like, are you serious? So I was like, yeah, it's usually be like an hour. You good? He's like, no,
I knew there was going to be 3 hours of maintenance. They had mentioned that on like a tweet or the TWAB or something, but it ended up being like 4 hours of maintenance. Like they made it even longer. That was the thing about it.
Look, I felt this pain because my only thing, look, maintenance is going to happen. But the thing that killed is like to do a maintenance before in the middle of a special event when you don't get the same amount of time that the first group had, it's kind of tough. You know what I'm saying? Right. Now I get it. Hey,
well,
bro,
and you also couldn't get the same multiplier. You stopped at 8.8x. You could only you guys had 11x, and you guys had double rep because they had the errors, and yet they didn't double the rep at all for this week, even though you couldn't get the full reputation gain.
And that I felt was unfair to you guys and him in that respect. I get it. Yeah, bro, play the game. I get it for the people who, who are not sympathetic. But I just felt like, they should have had the equal conditional on some level. And it just sucks because I know he really wanted the title really bad. But that was the story. My clan is the ones who have it are teasing the hell out of him. Like, hey, bro, I don't know if you could be in the Iron Lord podcast title without the Iron Lord. We got to check
clan. Yeah, we'll let you back in next season when you get the title. Yeah,
he's getting clowned.
He's like, right now on the hot seat. He's on probation until next season. Yeah, it's tough.
But anyway, that was the story.
So did you play much at all, Rez?
Yeah, I got it first week.
So I'm the idiot. Cool.
I was a little obsessed with it the first week because I was telling y'all before we started, like Iron Banner is that's the reason I started playing PvP and Destiny in D1 in like the first place. Is a thing that actually got me inspired to try for once because I'd always messed around with PvP a little bit, but like Iron Banner has always been one of my favorites, and I was kind of bummed that they took power level out of it just because it's like there's very few places where it matters at all, and like because I play so much PvP and like to do like raid helps and stuff like that, like I end up pretty high light pretty quickly.
You enjoyed just smacking people in that first week? That's what you're saying?
It always felt pretty good to be over leveled in the first week.
I see. So you just enjoy crapping on the little guy. That's fine.
But the changes like especially from the first week that they did it to this past week when they did it were amazing. I really had a good time with Rift, so I had a lot of fun playing objective mode. I played with people, so like the part where you had to actually like touch the spark and like run the spark, we took turns and we talked about it.
You guys
so we were like, somebody was like, yo, I still need this many points, and it's like, why don't you just try to carry this time? We'll guard you on the way there. And it works because you're already trying to play that mode. You're already trying to guard someone who's going to run for you anyway, or you're trying to like guard somebody who's got, they're going to be able to buff you. You're guarding the hunter who's running Omniarch, something like that. You want to, that sort of thing. So it was, I liked it a lot. I liked that it was a limited map rotation. I could do without its convergence, right? The way it used to be Pantheon.
Yeah.
I could do without convergence just because it feels pretty broken. One of the spawns is pretty broken. It's pretty easy to spawn trap people there. And I'm also just, I don't want to play on convergence anymore.
Yeah, a lot of people have had some like a couple different videos and podcasts. Like a lot of people just, that map apparently can now go in the bushes. People are kind of done with that one.
It's just time, and I don't want to it's kind of a dead horse thing, but like not having new maps and playing a lot of the older ones a lot just does feel pretty bad. Like I would prefer new stuff. I know that's a huge time investment from their team, and honestly, I've been really hit or miss on the new ones. Like I didn't like the new Vex one they threw in. I feel like I'm on the other side of a lot of people. I really like the new Throne World one. Sub something.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Conjunction?
Conjunction? Something. Whatever. It's
we're
good.
About to say grammar words, so we should probably look this up.
It's a cool, very darkness sounding word. Is what it?
Yes.
I like
disjunction. I was close.
Disjunction.
Okay.
It does have I like that it has 3 very distinct parts, and so you get different engagements in different parts of it. Like there's that middle part that starts to feel a little closed in, but it's actually still open. You've got the cubbies on either side, and you've got the the little top places where people can try to hide. Then it's got the big pond area, and then the area where heavy spawns is they're all very different, and it lends to different play styles. It allows players to have much more varied loadouts, because there are places where, especially on a mode like Rift, it's if they take the spark in that back hallway, you're going to fight in the back hallway. You don't get to be well, I want to engage you out here. No, you have to go to the objective. So, it gets the engagements to actually kind of flow a little bit more, and the mercy changes were just perfect.
Yeah, how was that? I missed out on that.
Dude, so you played the first week, it was bad. You would just sit there.
I would just sit. Yeah.
And this time it was so blazing fast. If it was a blowout, it was like a mercy on any other kind of match or mode.
Good.
Where it got you right through. And it was also, it felt a lot more fair and respectful of the time. It cut out the ability to really easily grief people with the teleporting glitch at the end. And so all that felt pretty good. And I mean, I know it's iterative. They've done so many changes, so many different ways. I like this one. I'm not so salty about the stuff that I don't like that I'm not gonna, it's not gonna override for me. So I've had a good time messing around with it, and a lot of people, especially we had some old PS4 clan members who were having some fun, jumped in with us, and cross save and crossplay were the greatest things that ever happened in this game. Y'all were talking about PC, we were talking about early days, different platforms. It was hard.
It was hard, yeah.
So being able to actually have a big playlist and a big group of people that can just hop in together is, I mean, that's when Destiny's at its best.
100%.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I had the mix because I played about 1 reset the first week, and I did everything solo, the entire thing. So it was freelance the entire time for both.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, freelance the whole time. No, if you're solo and you don't know freelance exists, it's probably a.
Sometimes it's a little better because people forget that there's 2 buttons.
Yeah, well, that's when you guys on. And what I don't understand is if you're in a team, and this is where I know crucible matchmaking is a thing, but somehow I hear people who run a 6s be oh, we went against another team of solos, and there's 6 solos, and you're I know there's people running groups out there. Find the other group. That should be a high you see 6s, you're going 6 or a 5 or a 4 long before it's everybody's by themselves versus a team. This seems
it makes people
wrong.
lobby dodge too, right? It makes people work to actively lobby dodge. And I'm not gonna lie, I've done it. I've been the party leader that's sitting there watching, oh, we're about to get matched against a 6, back out. Especially if you're just in there with 1 buddy, right? If you're in there as a duo, no, I do not want to play with 4 randos and a 6 stack. Match me somewhere else, please.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, the matchmaking was hit or miss, but I will definitely say the mercy was big, because if you got stomped 0-3, it's over, and it was that could be a 2.5-minute round, or the other side if you got onto a
spark
team.
Run 30 seconds.
Yeah,
easy.
Depends on the map. I one time, in that night when I was trying to finish up, I was on a group and I went 1, 2, and 3, and I dunked all 3. So I have the Saladin's run medal or whatever, where it was 3-0. Nobody killed me, nobody touched me, 100%, and I got it. Never probably gonna happen again. But it's because Bannerfall. If you get those early kills and you pick it up, and as soon as it's done, you dunk before they can ever come back. Bannerfall is the one where you can do it without trying.
Yeah,
the other map, that's not going to happen. The big one, Disjunction, that's way too big.
Yeah, and because there's no lane directly to it. You have to move up so far to get to a lane on that map. But Bannerfall, you just get to the hallway and everybody's there, ready to fight in the hallway.
But I will say, for the mode, it is nice to have an objective. And I had my 0-3s and 3-0s. Those happened plenty as a solo player, because you're oh, there's 2 people on this team and just mowing everybody down. It's whether you're on the good side or bad side of that equation, you'll see it. It was the ones where the spark would be oh, it died. Oh, it died over here. Oh, it died over here. And it's moving back and forth, and you're waiting for it. Those were the fun ones, actually. It's yeah, you went to the time, and some people are oh, I had to go to time on the match. But I'm but the back and forth, the tug of war of moving that spark back and forth, that's when I'm then this actually feels kind of a balanced room. And that's when I do like the idea of everybody converging to a point, and then like those moments where a super would go off, you're like, oh, damn it, like perfectly timed super, because you're usually pretty grouped together, and that one like Blade Barrage just wipes after. It's those moments. So yeah, it's like.
Did you see?
Go ahead.
Sorry, go ahead.
I was just gonna say it's that back and forth that I really enjoyed when those happened, and it felt like the lobby was about right for it. That's when I did have fun. When it was like stomp, 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 either side of that, it was like, yeah, it's nice to get the quick win because I'm just trying to knock out objectives for the title. But the matches where I was like actually getting into it, when it was like 1-1. And then you ran out of time, and then all three of them came up, and then you had the triple spark. And the hilarious thing was in its triple spark, I love going down the middle, and everybody goes outside, and I'm just like straight down the middle and take it in for the win. Yeah, everybody's like, oh, I'm gonna go where they don't think I'm gonna go, and I'm like, nobody chose the middle.
Straight down, touchdown, let's go.
That was pretty rare too, but like, did you feel like you saw a pretty good mix of people doing different like subclasses, different loadouts, or?
Yeah, I mean.
Definitely didn't feel one note for me.
No, I will say I play a lot of Solar just because Solar's been 3.0 and I love my Solar Titan anyway. So it's like I've been playing that a lot, but I mean, I got Frozen plenty. I will actually say between Mayhem and then also being a Solar Titan, I can't tell you how annoyed I am sometimes how weak my hammers actually feel. I love using them, but against any other super, we suck.
It feels so funny to hear that because I feel like they smash into my face so often.
Oh, no, you don't know how many people in Super, I'll hit you once. Like, there's a Shadebinder. I'll hit him in the face with a hammer, and then they freeze me, and then I can't do anything, and yet my body's on fire and I'm frozen, and then they pop me. Or there's a Nova Bomb, and it's like, if that's coming at me. Or Golden Gun can instantly... I'll even throw my hammer, and it's like, it'll trade in midair, but it's like, it's not there fast enough. So it's like, it feels like I can hit people with a hammer and not kill them, but I tend to get, like, I don't win many trades as a Titan super. It's weird.
See that. I have a buddy that mains Titan, and he's been doing a lot of Solar. And I know that there was also part of the title and the quest, well, I guess not quest, but like part of it was to use Solar or Void because they're the newest ones.
Oh, for the daily challenges, yeah.
But I did fairly different like a grouping of people, and the minute I was done with mine the first week, I switched back to Stasis because I like running Stasis with the renewal grasps in Crucible right now because it's like building out little zones where your team can be a little bit like area denial, but you also get some buffs from it the way you run an exotic. And so like that was fun, and it's just still different. Like I feel like they've balanced most of them pretty good. I am very interested in Arc 3.0 because I was an Arc Dancer. That's not right.
Blade Dancer.
But Blade Dancer was the old one. What's the Arc Strider?
Arc Strider.
See what they've done to
Arc Dancer.
I've forgotten. No, but like Arc Strider was
Rez is out here at the Electric nightclub.
Yeah, you did it.
It was good, dude. It's one of those ones, especially in sixes and especially in Banner when you had like when they were still doing control. If you popped off, I have a buddy that mostly mains Stormcaller, and it's like if you pop off on Arc, even still you can go a little hard on people, and they don't necessarily expect it. And I know that some of the big PvP guys have like, talked about like the best Arc builds and stuff like that. But I can't wait until we get the new version and get to like pick all the pieces of that one. That one's going to be.
And I want to see what they lean into. Obviously, Void had with suppression and some healing.
The verbs or whatever, right? Like
I want to know what the verbs are going to be because, like, I got a lot like Ignition. I'll be honest, I was wrong about Sun.
Well, Incandescent makes Ignition.
Yeah, like,
No, that's all I was going to say is like my Callus mini tool doesn't come off.
Oh yeah,
it's at level 52 right now. It doesn't come off. I just blow stuff up right now if I'm farming.
Finally got the, like I said, the thing and the build, and I'm building it out. Oh, shout out to, I didn't realize how much they really improve the crafting mechanics with changing actual perks on the fly without the material investment. Very low.
Oh, just the neutral element.
Oh, it's just game changer.
Yeah,
and you can swap stuff. You still have to pay to put a new one in, but you don't have to. Like if you don't change stuff, it stays, and you just pay the remainder basically.
That is
because I did that with my submission last week. finished it, and I was like, oh, I forgot to actually put like the masterwork frame piece on it. And I went back and I was like, are they gonna charge me another?
I was
and they didn't.
scared.
And I was like, okay, cool.
Same thing. I'm like, yo, how much this gonna cost just to change this thing out? And I was testing it with a peace of mind, and then I had I was able to double enhance perk with what is it, the elemental capacitor and perpetual motion.
Yeah.
And that's like my god roll. That's my baby. And I had it just the elemental capacitor portion enhanced. So I was like, you know what? I got enough materials. I figure it's gonna cost a whole bunch. I was like, I got everything now. So I'll invest. So when I went to do it, they were like, oh no, all you gotta do is change this one thing. It's only gonna cost this a little bit of neutral elements and your masterwork. I was like, oh, okay. Finally, reasonable.
Yeah, you're so right. Like, it was way too complicated to begin with.
Way too.
And it could have been worse, as Travis is very happy it's not. But I gotta shift the conversation just so this podcast doesn't take too long. No, Solstice launched on Tuesday. Now I know Travis has been busy. I want to get Travis's rumblings through the streets before we get into those that have played, because if he hasn't dove in yet, I want to see what it sounds like from the outside to Travis. So how has Solstice sounded like to you?
Yeah, so obviously last week I was on the show talking about how upset I am about all the new currencies and Silver Ash and yada yada. I did not get a chance to play, so I haven't had time to investigate myself, but interestingly, a close friend of mine who I've had for a while and gamed with in the past recently was peer pressured by his friends into playing Destiny 2. And boy, is he going through the ringer. All of the worst new light kerfuffles that you could imagine. And just it's very, very funny watching him go through it, because he's like, hey, Travis, you heard of this game called Destiny? And I'm like, yeah, a little bit. Yeah, just a small amount. Here's a show you can watch me talking about it for 500 hours. So it's been interesting because he's on my tabletop RPG group, so he's a numbers nerd, and he really likes build crafting in every game he plays. He's just like kind of a meticulous dude. So the first thing he did was go to Reddit and watch YouTube videos and figure out all the different ways to get like your stats high and what's important and what's not important, and just like ultra metagaming, which I hate when he does it when we're, tabletop RPGs, but in a video game, that's the name of the game. It's like what you're supposed to do. So, it's been very fun watching his reaction to Solstice. He is so confused about what's happening. And it's just added a layer on top of that. And it's very funny when he's like, wait, so you're on a show where you talk about this and you can't tell me what these silver leaves are for? And I'm like, that is correct, sir. Welcome to the world of Destiny, where even the experts are idiots for
a little bit.
At least part of every week when it resets for an event, we're
every week we're all morons. Yeah, exactly. Idiots. So it's been very funny. So he told me a little bit about what it was. I was like, actually, I'm supposed to talk about that tomorrow night. Why don't you tell me what your first impressions are? So his first impressions are he's liking the drops and hating everything else. And I was like, okay, that sounds like Destiny. So that's all I got. I have not jumped in yet, but I'm hoping to after I write my first drafts tonight. I'm hoping to get on and play Saturday, Sunday.
Have you spent some time around the bonfire yet?
I have not. Like I said, I was on my sabbatical, and I'm back. I'm coming outside now, and I looked at
least you
video.
don't take public sabbaticals as opposed to some people. Quitting Destiny. I'm back.
Exactly. Because you're lying. You coming back? Because you know what's funny? I got to tell this. This is funny. I was mad last week. I was like, man, I'm not doing that. Man, I saw the Solstice rewards. I ain't doing that.
Yeah.
And then we'll talk about next. I saw a certain trailer. I was like, oh man, oh man. I witnessed a certain trailer. And I was like, and I sat there and I laughed at myself, Trav. And I'm like, this marketing team does this to me every cycle. I was literally, I wouldn't say it's completely
like the drug you can't quit, man.
Yeah, I wasn't furious with the
game. Gardner knows about that. No, just kidding.
You're hilarious. Like I made a little line in me saying, like, no, Destiny, I'm not playing you. I'm gonna be productive. I'm gonna get other games finished.
Oh, you're
I
not.
am
Oh.
good. And then that trailer came, and I was like, and then I said, all right, well, let's see what's going on with Solstice. Let me watch the Ebontis video and see what's going on. And then, the only thing I will say, and I'll give it to you guys that have actually played, is that I don't know how I feel about, from a Warlock perspective, the armor just yet. I don't know how I feel about it just yet. So I'm curious about the Titan and the Hunter delegation, how you guys feel about your set. I don't know how I'm there just yet.
Cannot
But
get
other
on
than
board
that-
with the Titan helm, I'll tell you that. I got stuff that goes this way and this way. Like, what direction is the little frill gonna go? All of them off of the helmet. Like, the rest of the body, I'm actually cool with. The helmet looks like there's one too many bows on it. Pick a direction and stick with it. I don't need to have the full compass rose on the top of my head and little frill bows. The body actually doesn't look bad, though, even though the suns and the shoulders are kind of big. But Rez, how has it been treating you before I go into my details, since I'm almost done with this thing?
Just to go off what you were saying, like I this is always kind of weirdly disappointing when this happens, but I saw the concept art for the Solstice armor, and I like the art. Like I like the sketches of it so much more than I like how it looks in the game.
product.
And it is so weird. And it is also like the sketches, they had done these really expressive. The Titan looked like real beefy, and like it was like a little different. So I think they were kind of making it look a little different than it would in the game, no matter what. But I just think the sketches were gorgeous, and I do like the armor with some of the shaders, but I gotta say, like, Solstice is kind of like my least favorite style in terms of the stuff they've added. And I understand, like, I get it. It's the sort of lore through line that goes like, this was the armor the parade armor you were supposed to have on at the beginning of D2, when we were like celebrating how we had like that was coming to a new golden age is gonna be great, and then the Cabal attack, and so like you have the whole story, and then they the very first season when they made it like the parade armor exactly, and it was just glowing, and it's like, oh, okay, cool, I get what you're doing. Every time since then, it's always been a little like, I don't necessarily like the look of it, but it's fine, it's cool. It also kind of always gets me a little grumbly when I have to build a whole new armor set, when I've spent so much time with the builds that I have, because I have like 4 or 5 really specific builds that I use for specific things. And the best thing they ever did when it comes to that is when they said, like, we're not going to sunset armor at all. Like, you're just cool. Like, we have these new armor pieces. This is the way this is going to work from now on. And I was like, because I would have had to, like, every season, it would have been, okay, this piece is now like trash, and I've got to make sure I'm spending my currency in to keep it. So, like, artificially adding that on top has always been kind of a bummer. But the event, I was just, before we jumped in, I was doing a strike just to get a feel for, because all I had really done was the actual event so far. But I wanted to play something in the playlist where it gives you the reward cycle, where it sort of says, okay, now go back and do the other piece.
Right.
And I've never minded that, because like there's always like, you're coming in, you're going to do your pinnacles, you're going to do your weekly stuff. You do that, you grab everything, and then now there's an extra. When they do
that multitasking.
Events, they add the extra piece. And I've never really thought of those events as like, well, that piece is the core of the game. Like, that piece is always the extra piece. So getting a chance to like, I'm going to play some matches, like I'm going to do some strikes, I'm going to run my gambit for the week. Like, I'll get all these things, and then I'll be able to shuffle them back into this other thing. And what I find they tend to do, and I don't know if people ever really focus on this so much. I've never really heard people talk about this as a cyclical thing, but like towards the end of the season, they tend to always give us a bunch of stuff that's going to front load us for the next season. You're going to be able to get a ton of extra legendary shards, whether it's a glitch or not, but like you're going to be able to get a ton of extra legendary shards or masterwork cores or whatever. And then, because it's also like, you don't have to start doing your full end game chase at the very beginning of every season, because you can't get to GMs yet. The raid probably isn't out yet. Even when it does, you got a week of contest mode, etc. Like, there's always reasons that the game is sort of choked off one way and asking you to do these other things in other ways. And I think if you, like, the people who seem to have the best time with it tend to follow that flow through, where it's like, okay, beginning of the season, I'm going to try these things. I'm going to learn what they've added. They've got a new story piece that they're going to have me check out. And what's the thing that they added on top of that? Oh, it's this kind of battleground or this kind of arena shooter thing, where it's like, you got, or not arena shooter, but you know what I mean? Like the arena, like mob modes or horde modes
mode,
sort of stuff that we've gotten. Like, that throws in on top of it, and you go like, okay, this stuff extra, very good, and I like this season's version where it's a little bit more like sort of like hunter killer sort of thing. You got to go find, oh, there's a spawn over here. This one's really quick. I got to take this. I can run, and it's keeping you more mobile instead of keeping you locked in these little corners of the map for like a fifth of the map. Fifth of the match is over here, and then it's over here, then it's over here. It's like very dynamic, and I always forget you can pull your sparrow out on that map because it's like
on EAZ, helps.
Yeah, you can just like scoot across the map. I'm always like trying to run, like, oh, I bet I can get up here, and then I can do a super like jump and just fall over there. And it's like you could have ridden your space jet ski. I could have. Shit, I forgot.
Right.
But yeah, the loot thing, the currency thing, like, I understand what they're trying to do, like from a design perspective, that it's like they want us to have an interesting and engaging loop through it, but it is so confusing.
Oh, you don't say.
So confusing every time.
You don't like additional currencies?
And what is it like? I experimented with it a little bit, but you have to like one of the currencies you use to unlock another thing on your armor.
All right, let me break it down.
It's just like, did you want me to discard these after or no? Because some of it looks like you could probably like really spice them up and like get some interesting things, like if it stays permanent. But are they going to take away the extra stuff at the end of the event? Like, I don't know.
Probably,
like,
yeah. So you have a short, So,
bring it down.
Let's
hear it.
I've already done this for a whole video, so it's fine. You have silver leaves. You get those by doing other things in the game than the actual Bonfire Bash event. Now, even as of right now, because as of 48 minutes ago, they're like, silver leaves have been fixed to drop from these activities. 9 minutes later, they're like, not all of these things are fixed.
Yeah.
So Sever, up until about 48 minutes ago on Twitter, Sever was not dropping. Altars of Sorrow was not dropping. Patrols, which are literally one of the challenges, not dropping. Blindwell, part of the challenge. Dares of Eternity, part of the challenge. All of those were not dropping. They're one of the event challenges that you have to like go in and do.
You can't get leaves.
And the leaves don't drop from some of the things that the thing asks you to go do.
I think it sounds like that might have been.
I'm so glad I'm late.
Oh yeah, be late.
It looks like they deleted one of those, and that some of
that and then the correction is now silver leaves are maybe dropping from patrols and Sever, but the other things are still not fixed. So
great.
Then you've got
it's all coming together. I get why it's called silver leaves, because after this event, all their silver is gonna leave because nobody's gonna want to play the game anymore.
So I will actually say, Crit Buff last week had mentioned. Crit Buff had actually mentioned last week about the paracausal tree, and that's actually what these are from. So it is an explanation from Eva Levante that these are from, like, found, I think, from Amanda Holiday. They were from, like, this tree of silver leaves or whatever it was. They're paracausal leaves is what they are. They are actually.
She says that in her Bungie or her Banshee lore tab.
Yeah, okay. It's somewhere in there. Yeah. So the idea is you go do other activities to get leaves. The leaves you take into Bonfire Bash. Bonfire Bash is the EAZ if you picture a forge. Because you kill guys that glow. When they drop an orb. You throw the orb into the middle bonfire.
Start the fire. Yeah. Okay, got it.
Like they are from.
Yeah, like literally just like the forges in Season of the Forge.
Oh, yeah.
Or Season of the Worthy. You're throwing an orb into a central location.
Got it. Okay.
I'll get pretty far away too.
Oh, so yeah, you can be halfway across the map and it just kind of like weaves its way there. As long as you give it a decent arc, you're good.
Is it kind of magnetic?
Yeah.
Kind of. It'll run into stuff.
It'll run in. Yeah, you gotta have a good line and give it a decent arc, but I mean it's halfway across the map with a decent arc, like it's good. It'll get there. So it's nice you don't have to go get close. So then when you finish, depending if you can get up to 20, we talked about this last week, Travis, they did cap it. So at 20 orbs thrown in and bonfire, like igniters in there, basically a big taken ogre will show up. He's a boss, you nuke him, dies really fast. Then you go up to the bonfire, and for every leaf that you had up to 20, and then every orb that you threw in up to 20, it will take 1 leaf and turn it into 5 ash. So basically, if you go in with 20 leaves, and you actually get all 20 orbs thrown in, then you're going to end up with 100 silver ash.
What I do with the ash?
Okay, now the ash is one piece of the candescent of the seasonal armor.
Yeah.
Now the other piece of the armor is kindling. Now kindling is what you get from the event challenges.
Travis. I'm sorry.
He's dying. We killed him.
Travis has been shot by a tranquilizer dart. He will come back to us shortly.
Destiny 2.
All right, so we got the ash, and then we
Okay,
get
so
we
the
get
silver
armor.
ash is one thing. Then the other side, you have kindling. You have like 24 event challenges. Like, remember the event card? We talked about those a little while ago. They were coming in for Solstice. You go and it'll tell you, go, throw 50 of the orbs into the bonfire. Go get a certain number of kills. Go run. Right. There's 24 of these things. Every one that you do, you get one kindling. Okay. Basically, what you do is it takes 6 kindling to completely kindle a slot. So in armor. So if you put so in, say, the helmet, you put 1 in.
Sorry, continue.
It's like that.
So for the helmet,
puts his face up in the window.
Yeah, the car. Maybe he's like,
yes. Continue.
So for take like the helmet, you would do small kindling as 1. Then large kindling is 2, and then to fully kindle a slot is 3. So it's a total of 6 kindling.
I do 6 times for the slot.
Well, no, you do 6 total kindling for 1 slot. When you do, if you do put all of those in your helmet, you never have to put kindling there again. The idea is you're upgrading the stat potential of the armor.
Oh, okay.
So it starts as like 49, then it's like mid 50s, and then you can mess with the 60s.
Oh God. Okay, so that. But what about the actual mod slots available at the lowest end of the kindling? We still have a full.
You still have the mod
right?
slots. You just have crappy stats.
Can I ask a question? Stupid question.
Go for it. Yeah.
Is there any chance of Grasp of Avarice level?
There's no avarice. There's no extra slot.
It's not that.
All this?
No.
But it is like the other side is like instead of mod slots, you could really maximize like your stat potential.
Yes.
Because, so y'all know
exactly.
There's two stacks, right? You got your top 3 stats are one potential pool of stats, and your bottom is another potential pool. Like you can min max within those pools a lot easier because instead of waiting for the rolls, you can go like, well, I am going to actually invest into making mobility be the stat that I want on this.
So it's in a sense, it's like you said, it's configurable stat distribution influencing that on some level.
Basically what happens is like you've got a total of, I think it's like 34, 35, 36 on the top, and you have the same split on the bottom. And what happens is when you get to the top tier of armor, when you go to actually like roll for your stats on that piece of armor, which I'll get to in a second because you can only do it once per piece. I thought we could re-roll, but that was kind of misled.
You can buy more.
Yes.
You can buy another.
But the idea is like if you focus into, say, as a Titan, I focused into resilience, you're guaranteed 20 there. And then if you use your ghost for, say, recovery, I'm guaranteed 10 there. That basically occupies the top because there's like 30 something and you're going to have like 2 in mobility. So that goes 20 resilience, 10 in recovery, and then the other 30 stats is basically distributed between the bottom. So then you can see like I got one where it was like 20, 10, 15 in strength, 15 in discipline, like damn near perfect roll, and it was like a 67. And it's exactly where I want it. So if you focus it that way, and for you, especially if you want a little more recovery as a Warlock, say, but maybe you want mobility for a jump, you don't care about resilience, then you'd go like high recovery, medium mobility, and then just, do that on a couple pieces. One of your rolls is probably going to put the bottom half where you want it. So again, as Rez said, if you've been playing for a while, and you have good armor stats, you already set up with like, I got a PvP set, I got a PvE set, I got another discipline set, I'm good. You're not probably going to get a whole lot out of this. But as a free player, especially, or a new player who has some time, you have the ability to actually like build a set of armor that works for like into a very specific build. And you could probably do a couple sets from this if you have the time to do it.
Pretty cheaply too. I mean, aside from the time.
Yeah, it's like it's time, but it is like you could build like 66, 67 is typically what I end up with once you get a decent roll, and you can kind of finagle the stats where you want to, probably more than we've ever been able to.
Right, and it's already masked. Okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I was gonna say it's harder to understand that, like unless you're a player who understands that well enough, like it may be harder to approach that, but like the potential is there, and they've done that with a lot of the Solstice
Travis
events.
is slowly getting bigger.
They've done things where we can get really good armor from it pretty easily. Like so, but anyway, you were gonna ask.
And when you do the final thing, is it masterworked?
You can still put you can put the 10 energy in for like
get more on top.
I think you can just
you can masterwork. Yeah, like so, like the +2 on each.
Yeah,
you do get the +2 on each. It's a normal piece of armor like that. It just doesn't have the artifice slot. It works like a normal piece of armor.
Last bit. So outside of this armor system and stuff, is there? I'm hearing rumors of like, I don't know if it's a weapon or something. People are going crazy where they talking about like,
okay, there is an origin. There's an
burden, and I'm like,
it's the free perk.
See, that's the part I'm interested.
The origin trait on the event weapons. The one is like a 120 hand cannon. It's a stasis weapon. Can get headstone. The other is the compass rose. It's the shotgun.
This is from the last one they did.
I was like, I feel like we've seen it before. Maybe I saw it in Dawning. I feel like I've seen it before.
Well, and I mean, the gun is better devils. Like,
oh yeah, the hand cannon. Yeah, the hand cannon's better devils with stasis.
That's a better devil. Okay. I see what we do.
But it's origin trait. Basically, if you hit a target but you get an assist on that target, it will overload your weapon. Well, what happens is people shoot it with their weapon, but then they'll switch over to like Gjallarhorn and then have their friend kill it. Now their Gjallarhorn has like 4 shots. They'll switch back to their primary. They'll shoot it again. The next enemy, switch back to Galley, have their friend shoot it. Now they have 6 magazine of Gjallarhorn, and they can just go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 without having to reload.
Is this how it was intended, or is Bungie investigating?
It's probably 100% busted.
Yeah.
There's no way it's not going to get fixed. There's no way, because you have people got like 4th Horseman, 20 shots in a row.
Yeah.
It's fun now.
I mean, someone about single mag Caiatl. It was a very good video. Like watching.
What?
Yeah.
Like that.
Somebody had sweet business with over 1,000.
Yeah, Destiny the meme. If you follow Destiny the meme,
Moira
had 1,100 bullets in sweet business.
There was one too that was like someone posted a last word with like a bunch of bullets. It's like last paragraph,
last sentence or something.
Closing argument.
Yeah.
it's like got 100 bullets in it.
Merciless with like 21 on a boss.
How is that not going to break the game the same way that Pocket Infinity breaks the game?
I mean, that's basically what that's doing.
Pocket Infinity, it's like
clearly this is not what Bungie.
Yeah, this is going to get fixed at some point later.
This is a strong nerf.
Yeah, this is
get in now. Now you excited? See, I like this part.
Yeah, this is the busted piece.
Okay.
But the idea is some of the challenges are not too bad. Like throw 50 of the orbs in. If you're on top of killing the guys, I'll usually get like 10 around. It's not too bad.
Yeah, everybody's gonna
that's like because some people are like, oh, where do I go? I'm like, I usually take 2 of the spots, and the other idiots are running around, and I take half of them. But yeah, so nice of me. Some are easy, some are just like kill certain enemies, some are get kills. But then there's like 25 Crucible or Gambit matches. That is one of the challenges. One. Now, they're not all that long. There's one in the Throne World where you have to do Throne World activities. My advice is go do Wellspring. Go do Wellspring because it's 9 leaves and 10%. So do that 10 times and you'll be good.
And you probably still don't have those craftable weapons.
I don't. No, you're right. You're right.
See, yeah, if you got that stuff.
What'd
you say, Travis?
Trav, sorry.
All you have to do to complete it is do an activity 10 times.
Oh no.
You're not pumped? You're not enthused?
All I can say is when it comes to the PvP matches, do it this week because Mayhem is fast. If you don't do it this week, it's gonna be slower. That's all I'm saying. So if you're good, you don't have to do it at all. But I'm just saying, if you do want to do this, Mayhem is the fastest way to do the PvP matches.
It sounds like he's a dad trying to get somebody to do his homework. Travis does not want to do his homework.
Travis is probably not going to do his homework. Travis is going to get an F on this assignment and just say, I got an incomplete.
That's right.
So that is the general idea. You go to other activities, you get leaves. You take the leaves to the bonfire bash. When you finish that, they turn into ash. The challenges that you do, you get each challenge is 1 kindling. And then for the armor, the kindling like fully kindles the slots, and then the ash is where you reroll for stats. That's the whole cycle of things.
said, Travis, you gotta eat your veggies.
Can't have your
I
pudding
don't,
if you
though. Here's
don't
the
eat your
thing.
meat.
Here's the thing they don't tell you when you're a child is that you actually don't have to eat your veggies. You don't. And I pointed this out several times.
Break it down.
And I feel like it's informed my personality now as an adult. Question
Clearly.
everything.
This makes
Question
sense.
everything. No, you don't.
You're like, am I gonna die without veggies?
What'll happen
Well,
if I don't?
What'll happen?
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, I'm appalled by this system. I find it offensive and grotesque.
I mean, to have it done to us yet again is
it
the
upsets me
appalling.
greatly, and I'm disgruntled. I'm a disgruntled Destiny player.
are you gonna form a union and start striking?
I think I might.
Well,
yeah.
at the very least, you should make sure you write a very strongly worded letter that absolutely puts you in the foreground, because you're the perfect kind of player that we absolutely need to make sure the game is made for. So make sure you get that. Just like, if it doesn't fit in Twitter, just make sure it's in a JPEG. And
for sure.
And just be careful, because also if it turns out you're doing some other shit on the back end of that, you might get sued.
Yeah, you might get sued. Just don't get sued, man. That's what I'm trying.
I don't know. Maybe just like
Bungie's
the
outside.
letter.
Don't get
The
sued.
letter, very important.
Yeah.
I will counter suing for damages done to my psyche. I'll be using a clip from this show as proof of my psychological damage.
He died from
it. You did.
We saw
it's fine. These seasonal events, I don't know if they're for me. Some of them, I will play it before the weekend is elapsed. But
I think it's like 3 weeks or something, right? Easy. Like,
yeah, it's 3 weeks.
It runs for a while.
It's just such a chore, man. It's just such a chore. I like the prospect of some interesting weapons. I love that there's a bug in the game that's making people do weird things. But yeah, aside from that, I think probably the best parts of this event are accidental.
I was like, I am 2 strikes and 12 Crucible matches from having my Flamekeeper title. So I've done basically all of it.
Is the shirt? Is this one shirt? Is this shirt summer shirt? Right?
Yeah,
it's
the orange Solstice Sun thing. Yeah.
I wasn't feeling the shirt neither. I was like,
I haven't looked at the shirt. You said it's orange? I'm probably not going to get it.
Yeah, it's okay. Like, orange it's a certain person that can wear orange.
Yeah, red and orange t-shirts. I can't.
Neckties.
I respect that. They need some new Destiny ties in this game. I respect
like,
that.
it is. Oh, wrong.
Don't have one. I own 4 Destiny neckties, and I've had to make them all myself.
This is actually like this could very much be the Jerry Garcia tie sort of thing, where it's like it doesn't have to have like a picture like of Cade on the tie. It could be something that's inspired by the universe, like the color and the texture of a Red Legion tank, perhaps. I don't know. That's
or alternatively, I will take literally anything at this point. You know, doesn't have to be creative. Just put
they release the only tie they release is a Warlock tie.
Oh, he was meant to be, brother. Come home, brother. Fluke.
I own a Warlock tie. I own that has each of the class.
No, I'm saying very it's just Warlock specific.
Listen, this call.
So it goes on your arm? I'm confused now. Like,
it's an armband. Yeah, it's here. It's one of these like weird things people put around. They're like,
it's a long coat. It's a tie.
It's a robe. It's a robe.
For unspecific reasons, I have a vendetta against armbands, but I will buy the neckties for sure.
I still need to see you in a bow tie. I'm surprised we haven't got a bow tie going on yet.
Bow ties.
Okay.
Wait, no, you have. You saw me in
a ghost that has a bow tie?
Yes.
Yeah, they're probably.
You saw me in one. Witch Queen release date, I wore a tuxedo and I had a bow tie.
Oh, okay.
Ooh. There you go.
Remember?
Yeah, I was like, I don't remember specifically that one, but
champagne. I drank champagne.
So I was like, for me, I was like, when it comes to, I'll bring this back a little bit. When it comes to the Solstice event, it is nice for certain players to be able to build a set of armor if they have the time to do it. but it is still, I saw it, I think Pigeon actually had a pretty good thread on it. It's like, the armor's kind of cool. Like the glows, we know, like you're going to have the white ones. The white ones are not as hard to get. They're really not. You basically just get the 2 sets of kindling and bam, your armor's glowing. The color ones are still purchasable through Eververse. So you want to skip the whole process and get some colors, jump in there. It's just, it focuses us to go do the things that we know need the most work. We know Crucible is still lacking in maps right now. We know Crucible has its ups and downs in this sandbox right now, and it highlights it because you have to go put 25 matches in Crucible. Like strike playlists, like we've played a lot of these strikes many, many times, and the fastest way to do the strike, because you can do like playlist activities, that's one of the challenges, but you have to do 25 Crucible matches and a certain amount of strikes and Nightfalls. The playlist is going to get done anyway, but when you go do the Nightfall, like the Nightfall or strikes, well, the higher the level Nightfall, the faster it goes. So then I just played Prison of Elders, I can't remember the strike. I played that 10 times. So I sat there and played the same strike 10 times in a row, as opposed to the strike playing list having variety. I went to go play Mayhem. So it's just like, it highlights the fact that these things that we do know need some work, as they are the core pillars of everything they want us to do every season. Is here's your story, here's your activity, and here's these things. It's like we had Tom on, and it's like the seasonal stuff is usually pretty cool. We enjoy that. But it's like the core pillars of what we have to also get pushed to go do are the ones that just continue to show, game's 5 years old, and how many times do you have to run X strike, and you're like, yep, just kind of like literally could watch a Netflix show while doing some of this stuff. So it just kind of brings some of that stuff out, and it's the whole go do other things to bring this currency back in here to do this thing. Yeah. And it's that whole cycle. I don't know. It's like the event card, or the upgraded event card. We talked about it last time because we weren't entirely sure, because you can spend 1,000 silver and get this like cosmetic package.
Yeah.
This is the shirt?
Exactly.
Yep.
Oh, it looks like it was made by Sunkissed.
As somebody who likes Sunkissed, that's actually not bad.
Got my Orange Crush, baby.
Yeah.
Orange Crush. There you go.
Crush or Sunkissed. Those are the 2 orange sodas. Not Fanta.
Man.
Not Fanta.
No Fanta.
No.
Wow.
I tried orange Fanta, and
Wow.
I didn't realize that this was going to bring up some strong emotions about soda.
About Fanta, yeah.
Yeah.
Don't you want to talk about it?
It's all junk.
Remember the commercial?
Don't
you want to? Yeah.
Sorry.
That's hilarious.
But what I did kind of want to bring up is, because this event, you have leaves not dropping where they're supposed to be dropping. If you try and do a second character, there's not a boost on the second character, so it goes faster. Second and third characters were potentially bugged. Iron Banner, we've had 2 weeks where things went wrong. We have had a substantially buggy season, I would say. It feels like for sure this one has, which I kind of want to take into... I mean, we can dwell on Solstice. If you want to knock it out, cool. Hopefully you guys understand the purpose of it at this point. I feel like the activity is... EAZ is actually easier and quicker. You're not hunting for chests anymore. They made getting vertical easier. There's cannons that shoot you all over the place. Like, EAZ is almost like EAZ is almost pretty passive. You could have 3 people sit where the little guys spawn. When the Taken show up, go kill them, go back to your 3 spots, chunk the orbs. You're like, it's very low effort.
And it does look like there's a little bit of Easter eggy stuff. Like there's probably a secret thing or 2 that we're going to figure out. Somebody's probably already figured out. But I noticed a couple things in like the way certain things spawn that's similar to previous seasons. There's probably extra stuff if you're paying attention. So
interesting.
Yeah. But I was like, for me, it's like, I know who it's for. I like the idea of Flamekeeper as a title. Just the wording is cool. I like Flamekeeper. Sounds cool. So that's like one of the reasons I'm kind of going to knock it out. As for Teddy, there's the other title, Reveler, which is going to be, you have to do all 4 events over the course of a year, and it starts now. So you got to do Solstice, Festival of the Lost, Dawning, and Guardian Games, and after Guardian Games, you can actually get the title. So that one will be in the works for a good bit.
Oh, Teddy.
So yeah, that one's going to be not completely.
It's ironic that they called that one Reveler, because I don't think the people who earn it are going to be reveling much at all. Quite upset.
Maybe it's when they win Guardian Games, they revel in their victory, and then they log off the game and go cry.
Wasn't there an event called the Revelry.
There was Revelry. That was a spring event. Yep.
Yep.
That was the like green and yellow armor.
Greeny, yeah, yep. Green yellow one.
Okay, well, the other thing that happened today is the giant piece of trailer, 45 seconds to drop. So it's 45 seconds of the witness talking to us. Most of the things I think we've heard before, but he basically says you don't really have any more pieces to place. I've been sitting here I've watched all of this happen.
It's his exact monologue from the epilogue.
Is it so it's the end of his monologue, but it's just like it shows the history of the different things that we've seen. It shows the Garden of Salvation where we talk to ourselves and like the manifestation of the darkness is like a clone. It shows where the pyramid ship got flashed over by the light and where it kind of the first speckle of a pyramid ship even existing. We got to see, the Leviathan hanging out by the moon and trying to communicate with the pyramids. We saw Callus, who now is going to be the harbinger of the second collapse. All of these pieces now, and then of course the ending cutscene with the witness from the Witch Queen campaign. That kind of leads into, it says the Destiny 2 showcase is going to be on August 23rd. August 23rd is the date of the new season. So, a couple things. We imagine this is going to be, don't expect anything about the new season until the day of, because it's probably going to be just like this season was. A couple hours before, digest it unless it leaks, which then it'll go live at like 10 o'clock at night. So, perfect. So they'll do that, but they're also going to likely be talking about Nightfall, which I would imagine. And this is probably one, we don't know when it's coming out. So that was kind of the first thing I wanted to ask you guys. We've talked about it, but Rez, we haven't actually talked about you guys. As we're going to see some type of tease this early for Nightfall, when do you expect Nightfall to release? Give me a month.
What did we got? Witch Queen came out in March?
February.
So, like, my worry would be that they're kind of stuck to the pushed out deadlines that they had to make when they had to keep, like, pushing the release back. And that it's just going to be, like, the year is just now reset to, it's not coming out like when they used to come out in October, November. It's now going to come out in early spring. I don't know. That kind of feels like where it's going to go. Like, but
that's what they said was going to happen. They said that they wanted to make their annual releases happen at the time as Witch Queen, which I could see. Yeah. I had previously theorized that it was going to be an 18-month cycle from now on, just because they're working remote and delays are inevitable, especially when you're pushing as much content as they are. Right. However, an August 23rd reveal has me convinced it will come out in spring next year. So we'll see. Delays always happen, but my guess is at the event in August, they will claim that it's coming out in February or March. That's my guess.
And it might be, like that might be the plan until they get bogged down, during that development cycle, because that's very, very possible.
Yeah, it's impossible to tell how far along they could possibly be on these things, but they had trouble with year annual releases for many years, and I feel like since they were independent and now part of Sony, but apparently don't have to answer to them anyway, which is insane to me. I think that they will probably defer to a more reasonable model and cadence that is probably not annual. That would be my guess. They'll probably be like 15, 18 months.
Cog, where are you at?
Yeah, I was excited and surprised. I didn't expect this. Shout out to the PlayStation logo at the end.
I expected them to announce Matter at this point in the year.
I know. I didn't.
They hired those PR people. Yeah,
I'm with you. I'm shocked that we got potentially Nightfall information, on a small level ahead of this new game that everyone knows about, but they acted like we don't know about. But look, I'm excited for it because it's the witness. Ultimately, it's the true progression of the storyline. I like the callbacks. I like the Garden of Salvation reference. He's talking his talk. He got the pieces off the board. I don't know why he's talking strong when we killed Rope, though. I'm like, bro, we killed your man. Like, why are you bragging like that's some piece we supposed to fear from your side? But whatever. Salute to him. He's, he doing his thing. He talking his little darkness talk, but it was good. I still love the character. I know people have issues. Some have issues with the way he look, but I think it's a unique character design.
The way they look.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, I mean, not even just like we don't know what his gender is. I think it's a lot of beings inside there.
I just like the smoky head and it feels like
it's wild looking.
It's giving me Shang Tsung soul vibes, and I like that.
Oh yeah,
he's got all the souls of the planets and the pyramids, just of this evil assimilating race that do. And I did like the Callus little, reference. Like Callus is down with the home team over there. Salute to him. He's doing his thing, getting his little pyramid up, ready to attack us. Whatever he's doing, he gonna jerry rig that joint in the moon. And I think, look, my prediction. Say it now. Callus is going to be a big part. I think he jump a cable in that pyramid on the moon. I think that's going to be an integral part to the attack on the Traveler. And I do think we are going to be in serious jeopardy with the Traveler, thus the name Nightfall, right?
Right.
I think that's the serious attempt on the line. And I'm very curious, how that transitions into what final shape ultimately becomes. But I'm excited. Now the question becomes, like you said, like the cadence, because now I'm totally with Trav. The cycle of the Activision, it's coming September, that's over. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. That's over. They clearly have proven they cannot deliver the content on that cadence anymore, which probably led to the split with Activision in the first place. You know what I'm saying? Because if you look at Destiny 2's history, it was really supposed to be in the place of where Rise of Iron fell. But Bungie pushed back, thus they had a smaller content drop with Rise of Iron, and then Destiny 2 came out later. So now you're getting into this where I feel it's like 12, 13 monthy kind of a deal. And theoretically, yeah, that would fall, first half, kind of a spring 2023 cadence. The question is, with COVID, with what's going on, are they realistically going to hit it? But I have to be honest, Trav, the fact that they doesn't mean it can't get delayed. But the fact that we're getting this technically 2 seasons ahead of time is kind of interesting to me.
I mean, that's right out of their playbook. That's normal.
It is, but I guess I didn't expect it. So I thought they're going to need more time. So now I'm like, well, maybe that, springy 2023 kind of release. The only issue is...
I think it's a lot more likely now because I was expecting Matter to get announced this summer, and then them to maybe announce Lightfall and show more of it in like the fall of this year, and then it would probably get delayed or just straight up they would just tell us like it's coming out in September, and they would switch to like a 15 to 18 month cycle.
So I'm
or like everything got pushed because of that, right? Like the announcements get pushed because the release got pushed, and so it's like you're saying, Cog, is like you're surprised that the announcement came out now. It's because it did feel like it was going to get pushed back the way that the other stuff got pushed back. Like it feels like we were inside that. But, it is nice to see it. Like I was kind of surprised because I was like, oh, of course, this is when they tend to do that stuff. And I was like, but wait, because that whole long season really like made really everything feel like it didn't, like I know they added stuff in there when we got like dares and we got the dungeon, but it was... It made the cadence feel very different.
Yes.
And has since then. So it hasn't been sort of like easy to understand.
Yeah, I'm with you, Rez. I think like it's definitely the vibe I get is kind of like an internal shift, and they seem ready. They seem ready. Anything could happen, but that's what I got. I did not expect to see it. So now I'm going to assume Trav probably a Gamescom kind of a conjunction promotional piece. Then
maybe interviews there, maybe
interviews. They're gonna be out, ready to talk.
Bungie has sort of stayed away from doing these group announcements.
Yeah, they haven't done like any conventions lately.
They're with Sony now, and so if they did announce it, it would probably more likely be at a State of Play or at Sony's conference in the show.
That's a good point.
Good point.
Sony doesn't do a lot at Gamescom, so my guess would be probably State of Play, Paris in the summer.
You're right. And then Sony did say they're not going to have a presence at Gamescom. It's going to be Xbox. They never did. It's going to Xbox, and I think I forgot like one other, maybe Ubisoft and Embrace or something. I forget.
I feel like Gamescom is always more PC stuff, mostly, or like developer
PC, Xbox, stuff. And third party.
Yeah.
So what about you? Like, I mean,
So I mean,
know?
if you think back on what we've had, Shadowkeep was the last one that stuck the year because probably
Yeah.
they had to basically.
Mhm.
Beyond Light was a
that's
14-month
nice.
cycle because we had the September push to November. Is that almost 15 months?
It was the
October,
beginning
November,
of,
September, October. So it was
it was
2
either
months.
October or November.
I think it was November. I think it was November. Yeah, because that was 14 months. Then Witch Queen pushed that 3 months out because we get the 6-month
Mhm.
season. So that was a 15-month cycle.
Yeah, Witch Queen, that felt forever. Jesus, to get
I
to
mean,
It did
that's
feel weirdly long.
oh yeah, you guys want all the content at once, and then you're okay with the drought, right? Yeah,
Make
it's
it
like
up
be
some.
careful what everybody wishes for. Be like, oh, we want the big expansions, and it's like, no, you don't. Not
Nah.
anymore.
We just want more Cosmic Horse.
I do.
Ooh, Trav, you push it back. You're done with seasonal model. You're done with tune in next week on
I've
Destiny.
been done with seasonal model forever. Yeah, just give me an annual release. I'll review it, and then I won't think about it for a year.
Okay.
Well, anyway, so 15
No,
months
the problem,
from.
sorry, I just want to clarify. The problem with the Activision model, in my opinion, was not a annual release. It was the annual releases with like expansions in between. They were doing 2 expansions
They
in
were doing
between
2.
each annual release, which was crazy.
Yeah, that was a lot.
And yeah, there was just a lot going on with that. And I feel like annual release is possible. I just assumed that they wouldn't hit it because COVID and remote work and all the other stuff that they got going on. They just got acquired. I'm sure that that's changing some things for them. So I don't know. I'm skeptical, but this is a comforting sign that they announced it so early. So go
ahead,
E.
Anyway, so if you take even if you take 15 months, and that's why I wanted to kind of bring up like Iron Banner, Season of the Risen, Solstice, not bug free. Just, I mean,
are you implying?
no, I'm just saying I don't want to see them try and squeeze it into 12 months. I don't want to see them go February to February.
Yeah,
so it's like my expectation is if we can get about the same as last time for about a 15-month cycle, it's going to fall in May of 2023. Now, depending on when dates start dropping as we get closer to the end of 2022, we're going to start to see dates for Redfall, for Starfield, for Forza Motorsport, for lots of games that 2023 is now stacked with that have been like pushed just over the lines. Forspoken's now in January as well.
That's
like
true.
There's a lot that's going to be.
Let's be honest though, E. I know where you're going.
No,
I know where you're let me let you finish, and then I'll.
Well, it's like all I'm just saying is like I don't know. For one, I don't think if they. I don't think they should try and squeeze it into a year because proof of the past year has shown us that they need time to work out some bugs and polish and things like that. So if they try and do it in a shorter window than they've done in the past few years, I feel like we would get a rushed piece of content. I think it would feel rushed. We would find like the rough edges on a lot of things. So I think the 15-month window puts it into May. I also think if you look at the way this year and things launched, it was stacked fairly early, but it seems like people want to get like now that we had like the May window was not as big of a time, may actually work fairly well as a quieter window as opposed to now like January, February, March does seem like a pretty popular window because Destiny was like 3 days away from God of War and 2 days away from Horizon. And I was like, oh my God. Now I don't know where things are going to fall again, but May doesn't feel like it's like, hey, we just had to push it into 2023. Okay, but there's probably like 5 months gives a lot of times for things to come out. And I feel like May is never like a crazy busy time, almost getting to the summer. Movies are starting to go out. Yeah. I feel like it's going to give them a lot of space. And also they probably need the development time for this big of an expansion. Same teams on the campaign that was on Witch Queen. We have a bar for Witch Queen campaign now.
Oh, yeah.
We don't want to go down from there. We got to get the raid. We've got a season to go with it and stuff like that. And if it took them that long to get Witch Queen made, I feel like it's going to take at least a similar amount of time. So what you got?
Preach. Next. Take 15 months, release it in May, and then take another 15 months and release the final shape on the 10th anniversary of Destiny, September.
There you go.
Okay.
That's actually a pretty good idea.
Sealed delivered. There it is. Look, all I was going to say is just that you went down a different path. So I'm glad to let you finish because I was going to say something else. But no, I get you on quality, right? I get you on bug. They're definitely lately, you know, it's become an issue. You know what I'm saying? That I'm starting to see some patterns of things, breaking and stuff like that. I don't know what's going on. Is it just a transitionary thing? We know they're hiring. We know they got a lot of things going on. But where the only point I wanted to make was just that in reference to whenever it releases, I'm not truly worried about 2023 because 2023 is going to be massive for games. There's so many games coming out. Yep. So many things that missed this year coming out next year. And then 2023 got its own lineup of games that was already scheduled. It's going to be crazy. One thing Destiny has proved, it don't move, it don't shake, it don't fold.
I mean, I get that, but it was,
remember,
pretty much no games do that.
Right.
Developers don't just not release their game when it's ready because of other.
I will say Forspoken is the only one recently in their press release that has actually sounded like they did. That's the only one. Normally not.
Yeah, normally not. Some people will outright say.
I think the key word in what I said was a game that's ready doesn't get released.
Forspoken might need a little.
If you're already nervous about your game, then you can work around other people, but that's a different.
Yeah, because Witch Queen was what was official?
February 22nd.
February 22nd.
We had Elden Ring.
3 days later,
right
2 days
right
before.
Then I forgot about that.
He didn't care about what they was doing. And let's be honest, we talking. That's because it's its own lane, right? It's like launching the racing game with the whatever. It's just its own genre, so it's generally not going to conflict. The only time they need to worry is when, and I'm not saying you're saying that. I'm just saying like it's like, okay, let's say Outriders and Warframe like, yo, we coming out next to Nightfall too, then it's like, oh, okay.
Yeah, Soulframe and Outriders 2 come out on the same week, and you're going.
My argument to that would be that there are very few people who have the stomach for 2 live service games.
Exactly.
And those people are called Paul Tassi, and they're the only ones with that problem. Okay? They're the only ones who face this problem.
Shout out to Tassi. No, you're right. And those are the only times where I feel like the Destiny community, listen, the Destiny community gonna do what the Destiny community does. And when that Witch Queen, even you, I know how much you cared about Elden Ring. You were like, damn, I'm gonna have to get Witch Queen in this raid done. Bro, you
talking about me?
No, I'm talking about E. I'm talking about E. Like E was like, damn. Horizon Forbidden West fell under the rope for you because of
Elden Ring did too. Trust me, I know.
Yeah, to be fair, E and I did not have
I did
choices.
finally do that.
I had to review the game, and you had to make
as well. I was like, I don't have a choice as a content creator. There's no way I'm like, oh, what are you gonna play? The one that my entire channel's based around and that I actually make money off of? No, I'm gonna go have fun in Elden Ring and not make content. Of course not. That was like literally one of my most profitable months I've ever had was literally Witch Queen. I'm like, Cog, amazing.
Cog, that's like you saying like, oh wow, Travis, you must really like work. You always choose it over vacation. And I'm like, well, it's not. You can't really do vacation all all year.
Man. I feel you. It's just one of those things. I know what happens when it comes around. It's just funny, but no, I'm with you on the pushing for a highest quality. Of course, we want the highest quality release that they could possibly do. Take as much time as you need, but it's an extremely positive sign that they out here doing reveals and dates of what's coming, and I'm like, okay.
So that's the question. What do you think we get in August? Do you think we get a 2023? Do you think we get a spring 2023? Do you think we get a May 2023? How narrowed down do we get in August?
In terms of whether they're actually going to tell us.
Right. Like, yeah. Do you think they're going to say next year? Plan? No kidding. Season, month, like how finite do you think we're going to get in August of this year when it's like 9 months away?
Is it just common now for devs to say like a season or like a quarter, right? Like, are they going to say like,
I mean, sometimes they just put like,
year?
They can put a year on it.
Get like a day? Yeah.
I mean, I've seen all of it.
Destiny doesn't do that though. They do dates.
They do dates. Yeah, they do dates. That's true.
Yeah, they do dates and then they just delay it. So my guess would be that we get a very similar amount of content to what we got when they revealed the Witch Queen. Probably a cinematic trailer that establishes the premise of what's going to happen in the expansion, and then we get a date. And that date is subject to move, as it always is. So
do you think they're going to be... Do you think they're going to be conservative with the date? Or do you think they're going to be aggressive? Do you think they're going to be like, hey, we're going to get out to you in a year, and then like later on they push it? Or you think they're just going to be like, yeah, May? I was like, I want to know what you think they're going to say in May. I want to know, what do you think is going to be on that screen at the end of that trailer in August?
It's going to be a spooky alien, probably.
Mm-hmm.
And
he's got like fog heads coming out.
Like
he's got
February,
wishy-washy fingers.
February.
I think they'll give the February, March date and then delay it.
Kick it.
Would be my guess.
Yeah, I'm probably going March. I'm going March. Give them a couple months. February was Witch Queen. Give them March, and then I'm gonna tell you right now, that trailer gonna hit. That trailer.
Oh, they always do.
Of course, it's going
to. But they're gonna do something that we ain't ready for. I think they're gonna. That's the one we've been waiting. Yeah. I want to see what the dramatic thing is, because he's in the cut. He's been in the cut for a while now. We know he is. So what stakes will be raised? And the question is, see, what I loved about Witch Queen was just the lead up with like the Osiris betrayal thing. I mean, the doppelganger thing, Osiris, you know what I'm saying? And then like you had, she was just conniving, right? And
the actor,
I love
good, dude.
Deborah Wilson. Yeah.
Deborah Wilson. She's the like Jedi lady in Fallen Order, and she was in Mad TV when I was a kid. Like, I loved that show. So
yeah, bro, I'm with you. Same thing. And it's like,
wait, she was the whatever sister in Fallen Order?
Yeah, no, she wasn't one of the sisters. She was the lady who brought you onto the ship.
Yeah. Okay, that makes more sense.
She's like fallen. She's like I'm out of touch with the Force.
Yep. I got you. Yeah.
Makes sense. Bro, they got to do something, because I know Ito will hit it, but they got to do something.
Of course, they're going to
get that pre-order. And it's going to be epic that we go, oh, yo, it's on now. Like,
so,
what is he doing?
But then remember, like, so here's the balance of the marketing, and I know you're gonna say it, but keep pointing. How's that going for you? Keep pointing. Shout out real quick to MRI Gamer. Great show, gents. Love hearing Eric and Cog's expert opinions, and even Travis's casual perspective of Destiny 2 on the show. MRI throwing some heat out there, and then Travis fired back. It's all love. It's all good. No, I wanted to ask you guys though. Season of the Lost. Knowing what's coming in Witch Queen, did that take some of the weight out of Season of the Lost?
No,
I don't think so.
I'm asking Cog, because he's now rocking. He's like, no, I'm asking all of them.
Not for me, I'm here to hear you complain. So
I actually think it helped, Ebontis. We talked about this, that like, because we knew how it was going to end, it made each week during Season of the Lost feel
anticipation.
Like we were waiting for the other shoe to drop. So I think there's a right way to do it, but I think in the question you asked, the answer is no, absolutely.
I just want to know how much they gonna spoil to piss you off. And
I want them to show us. I want them to show us the end of the final shape during the trailer in August.
Spoil it.
All right, Travis, now Travis is just being. I'm gonna not.
Mean.
It's just being mean. Yeah. No, it's like, I honestly, and I think, and that's why I kind of wanted to ask you guys. Like, you can have your expectations of what I want, but I think that the fact that Witch Queen had such a twist, we never saw the cliff scene coming. We never expected. Well, yeah, we never expected the witness. We never expected those major points. By the way, since I'm thinking about major points in the story, have you done the Parasite quest?
Yeah.
No.
I need a group chat to shame Cognito right now. Everybody, I need everybody to go on Twitter and tag Cognito, #do the worm quest. And then we'll come back. #do the worm quest. Please tag Cognito. I need everybody to do that.
Yeah, there's a thing in that.
There's a thing in it.
There's a thing at the end of that.
Yeah.
Like, I forgot about that. I forgot that there was even story in that. Like, it seemed like such a weird place to put it. That's a whole different argument about worms and guns.
MRI Gamer, these are your experts? These experts, right? Okay. Just make sure these are the experts.
Oh, GK Balance is like #do the worm.
I mean, but MRI,
I like that.
He talks to people that got the Iron Lord title, and some person is deficient, and he's got to teach the people that have it. The people
I have the Iron Lord title
to do PvP but don't got the title, so
You know what the
Beautiful.
title means is you were patient enough to grind your eyeballs
yeah.
out.
To minimize it now. The person that was in the 11th hour tweeting. "I finally got
You think I wanted to be doing that?
Exactly. So that's all I can say about
Hey,
it.
for the record, I've been consistent on this topic. When I see a title over someone's head, it makes me sad for them. So
Please do not look at my multiple gilded dredgen.
No, don't worry. I've met Teddy. You're safe.
You're fine. We have a friend who's way worse than all of us.
I always
it's
do my
like
gilded dredgen in the last week of the season.
that's the idea. Is like, as you said, they have to in Lightfall. I do expect a trailer. I don't expect just like Lightfall date, nothing. I do expect them to talk about this because like they're probably going to do like Arc 3.0. Here's your raid. Here's the season that's launching today. You'll see it in an hour. They don't need to give us everything. We're going to see it in like an hour. But for Lightfall, I don't know if we're going to get a full Vidoc. We might, because it's kind of around that time. Hashtag Cog for Crocs. That's shout out to Necromancer for the $5 super chat.
Evil Croc.
I expect a trailer, potential Vidoc situation. Showcase is big. They won't do D2 showcase without like, 15, 17-minute video. So, and the seasonal trailer is going to be like a couple minutes of that. So Vidoc, maybe Luke Smith is coming out talking about a TV show they're working on to Travis's chagrin. Maybe we get the mobile game coming out. Who knows?
The movie.
Yeah. But the one
don't forget about the album.
Yeah.
Don't forget about the hot single.
Hot single. Yeah.
Let's go.
No, but so like okay, no, for say
Featuring
Vidoc,
Ludacris.
say trailer. We got. Do you think we hear about the new subclass? Yay or nay?
Oh well, I feel like that's the thing, right? That's the thing that's gotta be in the next one, and it's gotta be pushing towards that because, I mean, have they said they were going to do 3 darkness classes? Was that ever confirmed?
I don't think that was specifically said.
But if you look at the format of the way they have their weapon system, it is heavily implying.
Seems like it's
It was like in D1 how it looked like there was going to be more pips in the subclass selector from like day 1. There's like clues that it's gonna be. There's like a symmetry to it. There's like a. So I feel like that's the thing that is the thing they're gonna tease in the next one. It's like we're gonna get a little bit more story, but it isn't the final story because they've told us that there is a final story.
Yep.
So we're gonna get another good piece of progress, and I feel like they've got to throw down another subclass, and it's got to be, the big piece. And when they did this like last summer, did they open pre-orders at that time as well? Was it like here's a date and here's pre-orders, or was it like here's a tease and then pre-orders came a little bit later?
Because I feel like I ended up getting like a discounted deal pretty early on.
They put the Hive Ghost out there. Remember, they was like Hive Ghost.
Yeah, I got that.
Those with the knobs on the little radio thing. That was part of the special.
Oh yeah, this is a marketing blitz about to happen. We about to lose $150 early.
Yeah,
I already bought the hammer for God of War, so
the special edition comes with a signed copy of the script, the full script for Lightfall and the expansion that happens after. Yeah,
you messy right now. Look, they
got a photo of your favorite character that dies in a signed photo.
Signed photo by the voice actor saying, "Hey, this guy's not here anymore."
Yeah, actually, the collector's edition box is shaped like a tombstone. So,
that'd be crazy. Look, I think it's gonna be a big blitz. I think it'll be a major story beat reveal with something really cataclysmic that we go, okay, the stakes are so high that he's here and he's enacting some plan. And then I'm with Rez. I think because part of the expansion is always something transformative that's going to happen in the game, gameplay wise, right? So they sold us crafting. We're like, yo, crafting.
Yep. What's the big system change? That was going to be my next question.
Right. So there's going to be.
I've got it.
I want a serious answer.
I have a serious answer.
I don't believe you.
He's the witness. He's all about collecting things. I think he's going to vault the game. I think he's just going to.
You son of a.
Put it all in his pyramid in a museum.
That's it. Sunset back.
Could you imagine, like, if we logged in, the director just had a pyramid, and you had to go in and unlock strikes, and you had to like pull Crucible out of there, and you're like unlocking
That's what
director
the pyramids
notes?
are. The pyramids are DCV. That's what they.
You're ridiculous. You're
Have
ridiculous.
you guys not read the lore?
Lore wise, it would work though. Lore wise, what you saying is fire. Like, cause they could be, yo, the pyramids took all our stuff. Yeah, they took Mars, they took Mercury. Now you don't got nothing. You got to earn it back. And the whole journey.
Banshees and Amanda's holiday, like they're gone. We have them in the pyramids.
That's it.
That's right.
But yeah, I think it's gonna be, like I said, story beat, major with this stuff, gameplay changing aspect. In the game that I don't know, but I'm leaning with the extra thing will be a subclass. I think it's time. And I think the rumors were that we were supposed to potentially get the poison subclass for which
That was speculated forever. Who knows at this point?
I don't think there was even anything in the leaks that like pushed at those being like released.
Right.
Yeah, it's like,
but I will say they're leaning, even when you look at certain weapon classes and stuff like that. Like when you look at Osteo Striga and stuff like that, like they're leaning.
Pull those two.
Exactly.
Necrotic Grip, Thorn.
Necrotic Grip.
I have one spoiler. Let's shout out to TK Omar in chat. Tess Everest will survive all things.
For sure.
Always.
She has plot armor. She has just money armor. It's just made of dollar bills. Yeah, it is. Yeah, she has silver armor. That's right. That's silver armor. Yeah.
Actually, the final boss fight against the Witness / the Darkness is you have to power up a giant weapon by spending enough silver. You have to. It's a silver powered weapon.
Oh no, it's a community silver powered weapon. The community has to spend enough silver.
The community has to spend a certain amount of silver to power up this weapon to kill the Witness. Yeah.
Yo, how wild an event that would be. You know what, Guardians? You guys didn't reach your goal.
Yeah, they have, instead of like the blood drive fundraiser amount, it's the silver fundraiser amount to fire the big game-ending gun.
There you go.
Bungie, if you guys are listening to this, we're just giving you a hard time. But yeah, this is just.
Please don't. These are not good ideas. Don't use them.
Please don't listen to Travis. Do not listen to Travis.
The Witness's only weakness is unfettered late-stage capitalism. That's really he's not for it. Yeah, that's why he hates our freedom.
End game. Yeah, he's talking about the end game. You have no more pieces to move. I've taken all your. You've spent all of the pieces.
Yeah. There it is. There it is. We got our answer right there.
Just saying, guys, it's a great idea.
Yeah, somewhere. See, that one's. I mean, subclass. Yeah, I think we have to at some point because they've mentioned it didn't quite make it. Then we got all the 3.0s. Some subclass situation has to be there. I feel like there's going to be... I feel like what they did with Witchmoon was really cool. They're like, hey, you have Hive Guardians. This is the huge focus. The way they spun the story in the end, I was like, that was really well done. I want another one of those.
Oh, the campaign.
Campaign has to be fire. Like, in Lightfall, legendary campaign, solo legendary camp. Solo's the better way to go, apparently.
It was easier.
Yeah, it really was, because I went back with 3 players trying to do, Savathun, and I was like, this is a lot of damage you got to do. But like the campaign will be fun. We're gonna get a new destination. We've been told we always get a new destination
with an expansion.
With an expansion, it is a full destination. Full destination subclass. Now, theoretically, we've talked about this. Season 19 has that hopeful PvP something going on. We don't have any idea to what level, but in season 19, there might be some work in these survival playlists. Could be that.
It makes sense though, because they'll have Arc out and they'll have chance to within Stasis is out and all the 3.0s are out. Then you balance after that, right? I feel like that makes sense.
So yeah, season 19 is the PvP season. It's a 6-month season. They get more time to work on it. They work on that one. PvP is a little better going into Lightfall. Lightfall, we might get a map or 2, maybe. Probably need a couple of those.
Well, you gotta wonder if they're gonna stick Trials and Banner where they're at, right? Are they gonna say this is the iteration we've made and this is what we want to leave in the game?
Yeah.
Or are those going to evolve continually too? Because it almost seems like switching to Rift and changing the vendor stuff, they kind of have it
we're supposed to get
that's what we're supposed to get.
At least one more game mode, I think, this year, right? Because we were promised Rift was coming and then 2 other game modes, and I don't think we've seen all of the game modes. They did at one point. And now, granted, I don't know if it's going to happen, But
Is it
now,
like-
granted, I don't know if it like zone control is going to be one of them. I think it could be because
Right.
they've talked about that, and then maybe one other one. So we'll have to see.
Confirmed or whatever. What was kill confirmed called in Destiny? When
Supremacy.
you had
Supremacy.
Yeah. Like, I mean, it also could be kind of, you just made me think it could be that just they shift one of the modes to like a new playlist or something, or one of the playlists to like a new mode. You know what I mean? Like the way they switched Banner to Rift, it could just be like, yeah, we're gonna get another new mode, but it's just that Trials is gonna become
Control.
Yeah.
You
Which
know,
it already is.
as long as you're open to adding new modes, Bungie, might I recommend competitive?
No, I want to see a ladder rank. That's what I want to see. Is like I want our ladder rank playlist so bad.
Just like I want to know that I'm in bronze, and if that's where I'm supposed to stay, fine. But like I want to know if I'm improving. Like pull me out of this and say I'm in. Like I don't want to get into
Oh yeah,
matchmaking.
trust me. Oh yeah.
Oh no, yeah,
We've said it numerous times.
Yeah,
on this show.
you're in good company. You're totally
You're in
fine.
good company.
You're preaching my preach. Yeah.
I was like, I will say like the
It's
one
just-
big system I would want. You know what it is. Armor 3.0, if they could do anything about it. Now, granted, I have no idea what that is. Like, you guys can always ask, but I don't know what that looks like in the game. That's why I was like, I could ask for it, but I don't even know what that is at this point. But
Someone reminded me just a couple days ago what the old armor like felt like, where you had to like hope that you had like something that did the kind of gun
like helmet for hand cannons, and you're like, now it's just mods.
Exactly. And I'm just like, you know what? This is very good compared to that. And that's sometimes hard to do because when you find yourself doing that kind of comparative sort of thing, it's like you're saying, you don't know what Armor 3.0 could be, but it's like
still bad compared to what other games do it. It's bad compared to the shooters. Even Outriders World Slayer, which is on its second
Outriders is fantastic stuff.
Its armor system is like it makes
really
Destiny
dug into
look
that one very hard.
like a beta. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it is like it's the last thing. I mean, we got armor crafting, we've got subclass 3.0s now. I mean, as New Red said, it's like it's the last thing to really be customizable. Granted, we do have a lot of mods that kind of customize it, but again, that's what I was like, I don't know what it specifically looks like in my head, but I do feel like it is the last like piece of the character puzzle. Or on the other side, Alex.
Yo,
Alex,
shout out to Seth.
Alex,
Shout out to
Seth, can we get PvP 1.0?
Please.
Thank you for the $5 super chat, Alex. Appreciate it.
You just did say, like, you said armor crafting. I know you meant weapon crafting, but I wonder if it is
I meant
like
armor crafting. Like that's
okay. So that's what cool, because that's what I was gonna get at. Is like, what if it is like you completely craft all of your stuff? Like you don't build it from like whatever you pick. Like you actually build out like, and it's a lot more focused than it is. Because like weapon crafting was actually, I would say, one of my dog is just shaking his head.
I have 3. You're fine.
They're like, weapon crafting, complicated as all hell when it first came out. Didn't seem like many people were going to push for it, but like I found myself pushing for those raid craftables like right away. Like I was like, ooh, this is like, there is a lot of potential here, and there's especially a lot of potential because they tend to do a really good job of synergizing within like the raid stuff. You get like the mod perk, the mods for the raids and stuff like that. Like, so that excited me. I would love to see them like somehow get deeper with that. That would be a very cool way to do it. That would be a cool addition to this next.
He might have answered it. That might be the way. I mean, because at the end of the day, like they brought crafting in for a reason, right? And maybe that's their way that they because the way the mindset is like, okay, we know we have an RNG based game, but ultimately, if we're going to allow people to craft, we want them to have this quote unquote investment in the weapon and stay with it this long time and to unlock these other things and use another currency to do it. So
I don't know if crafting armor would solve their problem though, because
no, not necessarily, but it does link into crafting like your whole character, right?
Yeah, but the only thing you'd be able to craft really are the stat points, because the rest are mods that you apply, because that's how they decided they want to do it. And the problem with that are the limitations on the mods themselves based on slot and overall power usage and all that stuff. And so I don't know if crafting is the fix all.
Unless
on this
they
one.
truly rework the armor system to fit into this new model. And whatever
That is a completely separate, I
Yeah.
think.
That could be
that's like a
but it
separate
also could
fix.
be huge, right? That could change entirely, you know?
Yeah,
yeah,
that's what I would want. I
Sounds
would
like
want them to throw out, like, to me, crafting isn't enough if they keep the same model. I
Yeah.
think that they need to
Yeah, I think it's gonna
rethink
be a
the
whole
system
model change.
entirely. They
Yeah.
need to add set
Well-
bonuses. Set
Oh,
bonuses,
Add
yeah.
bonuses, please.
I was thinking exactly of crafting inside like WoW or Final Fantasy, like where you're building something to be like very specific. Like if you're crafting a set that is meant to be a set that's for doing something, and they kind of have that. Like with the raids, if you play them enough and you're actually looking to strategize and like play the masters and stuff, you have to go deep into making sure you have like, okay, I unlocked all the mods and I know how I'm setting this thing up. So like if that was something that was able to be more global, that was say inherent to like my character after I had spent time investing in it, like I would see that as like a win in terms of however they've pathed me to like doing that, whether they call it crafting and I got to go build it out a certain way or whether I got to go collect them somewhere or something. Like if it ends with, okay, we're not going to keep cycling you through this thing, but you will have an identity that you will have built into your character or something, like that could be, because Destiny hasn't ever truly had that. It's had like identity in terms of like very specific builds, but then again, it also is cool because it's so open-ended and you can build so many different things in it. And they've given us with that, with the like the classes, right? Being able to choose everything instead of just picking like 3 diamonds. It's like it's become, each of those things has become more like customizable to like the individual player over time. So maybe that's the route to take.
Well, they also do, I mean, crafting, origin traits, a lot of the weapon stuff we have had this year is a soft sunsetting situation because sunsetting didn't stick. Should have, but that's a whole different thing. So again, as Rez mentioned very early on with regards to Solstice, why does he have any reason to play these activities for armor sets when he has 3 or 4 sets? You even have the easy ability now. It's like 1 upgrade module or something to switch between Arc and Solar whenever you need.
I do that a lot more now, just for like for raids or for endgame stuff, where it's like, oh, this wasn't going to work, but I can actually, and I don't have to spend like hours and hours. I can just go. It's like,
so like it's the last way for them to soft sunset all the crazy people who've grinded out their perfect armor. It's the way for them to soft sunset armor and give you a reason to go get new stuff. That's why, again, I don't know what set they build, but I do feel like it is the final piece that needs that level of, because right now, being as armor is not sunset, you have your sets, you're good. You just switch and change mods, and now the colors are even easier. They need a reason for you to want to care about armor, because the longer this stuff goes on, the less and less I care about armor. Even in this, I'm like, cool, I got a 67, but I'm like, it's fine. Half the time, I don't even really care. Like, you care about 1 stat, you play with the rest, unless you're just trying to be like the optimal Trials player, then meh.
You've got so many tools to like sort it later that it's just like immediately like I know there's probably something I should think about here, but I'm just gonna throw it here. I'll think about it later. You know, like just toss it away and look at it with a tool later. Something.
So yeah, theoretically, Destination. Obviously, we would get a raid, possibly a subclass, possibly the major system change. Those are the 4 things that I think I'd like to see in August, as even if they're just, even like teasing weapon crafting, just tease the other piece. That's just like same idea. Just let us know that like in the back, let us start spinning our wheels, because that's what we're going to do for about 9 months. But yeah, we got about a month till that one drops, month till the new season, month till final question. Rez, what raid do you want to see in next season?
Well,
you get 1 answer, not 3.
No, it's like I would like it to be Wrath, because I never did Wrath.
That's fair.
That's kind of a selfish answer.
No, I mean, it's not a bad answer.
Yeah. Choice.
I have a feeling though it is going to be Taken King. It's going to be
King's Fall.
King's Fall. Yeah, I have a feeling it's going to be King's Fall.
Goggy, what do you want? King or Wrath?
You want King? I want Savathun to be right. 2 lies, 2 truths. The Taken King will come back and yeah, let's go. It's time.
Travis, which one do you want?
Fire of Stars.
Welcome. Got him.
Oh, you want to run around with the greed mechanic?
Yeah.
He wants to go. He wants to like before Deepstone go into space. There was Spire of Stars going to space.
I love Sparrow. I love CB Gray, but when they said that raid, I almost walked off my own shoe. Yeah, we need.
That was crazy.
I was like,
that was
Scarrow and
unhinged
CB.
behavior.
shout out to
Yeah.
CB. Shout out to Scarrow now. Y'all destiny is in question when I heard that. It told me how excited y'all was for that. Oh my god.
Those are
Well, to each
Warlock
his own,
games
though.
for you.
To each his own. But yeah, I think could stay in the vault forever. I mean, he could, the witness could keep that one.
Well, next week
I stand by my answer. Because here's my argument for Spire of Stars.
Mm-hmm.
Because if they re-release Spire of Stars, then when the witness comes and destroys our solar system, we'll feel like it was justified. And I feel like that will help us empathize a little bit more with the witness. You know, it kind of builds a little character development for him. You know, makes us feel for him a little bit. It's like, yeah, we kind of had this coming.
Anyway,
we allowed this to exist.
Next week we're actually supposed to figure out the launch time of the new raid. I kind of doubt they're going to tell us which raid until the 23rd. I don't think, because some people are like, oh, we're going to figure out the raid next week. Like next week, I'm like, I think we're just going to get the day of the raid, not the raid. My guess, because Liana posted something about saying like, hey, next week, stay tuned for at least a certain date, not the big date, but a certain date. So,
well, because the raid is just for the next season, right? It's, yeah.
Arc 3.0 raid, solid.
Yep, Arc 3.0 raid, story quest for 7 weeks.
Yep,
something like that. That's next season.
We know the vibes.
Yep.
Yeah.
Cool.
Well, that is about all we got, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you, chat. You guys have been on fire. A lot of shots going many different directions. If you enjoyed the show, make sure you guys do drop a like on this one. If you heard it on audio, also please leave us a positive review, likes, or however the platform you're listening, you can review us. And please make sure you follow, like, subscribe to all these wonderful people. Go check out all of Travis's reviews. Please go look at the Xenoblade review next week and give it a positive comment in between the mess of Storm that's going to be in the comments down below. For
comments exist.
If you guys are not listening to Defining Duke, if you guys actually don't check out the Last Stand Media crossover between Defining Duke and Sacred Symbols, go check that one out. It's funny to see like Xbox get crapped on and then PlayStation get crapped on just as equally. So that was a nice balance of both. And then of course, this man up here in the corner, please go check this artist out. Please go buy a piece of cool art. Very stylized. Love, like they literally are bleeding with style. It's very, very cool. But at this point,
he was right. He said that earlier. That's specifically right. Like actually specifically right.
I had a very certain word choice for a reason. So yeah, glad it worked out. But yeah, at this point, the platform is yours, Rez, to tell people where to find you, where to support you, where to check out all of the things that you do.
Yeah, I'm on the internet. You've probably heard of it. It's great. Series of a lot of tubes that are connected together. You can find me at irrezolut.com.
Could you say it's tubular?
It is very tubular. Yeah, so I'm irrezolut.com and Twitter. I'm at irrezolut. That's IRREZOLUT. If I say it in NATO phonetic, my Amazon thing will hear me. But yeah, that's where I am. I'm serially online and have been since about 1999. So you'll find me.
Man's coming through, pulling up. A lot of fun, man. This was a good show. Love the gaming history. Love the stories. It was good. Good. And go support the work, man. Guys got some great paintings out there. I might have to get that Red Drakes. Might have to get that little Telesto. A couple things you got up in there. I need some more Osirian things, though. I just got it from Warlock to Hunter. I just need a little bit more Osiris-like stuff.
And I take all sorts of stuff. If you have ideas, like I'm happy to do custom pieces for people. And yeah, like so, just hit me up. I'm gonna be out for about a week, and then I'll be back online again when I get back from doing some family stuff down in Florida. But also, just hit up Guardians Mental Health. Like if you have folks that you want to support in the gaming industry, it's they're a rare group, right? Like there's a lot of people that are trying to do good, and I feel like a lot of times we're trying to do good on the back end of something as a response, and Guardians is trying to get in there and help people like now and during and after comes after, but like getting in and doing some support, it's great. And even just seeing people like take it seriously, take the mental health of like the gaming community seriously, because you know we need it. We need something because it's been languishing. So they do great work. They're at Guardians MH on Twitter, guardiansmh.org on the internet. They're fantastic, and I always appreciate how kind and supportive Joe and everybody can be, even when I'm a crazy messed up person on the internet being loud about things that get people angry. But like they do a really good job, and they're very supportive and very, very understanding, and they're doing it for as many people as they possibly can. They're constantly doing what they can for others out there. So go support them as well.
For sure. Salute to that, man. That's super important, especially the proactive piece. So salute to you involving yourself in that, and Bungie and everybody getting behind it. Really important.
They've been great to us. They've been amazing. The fact that they had our, just to like take another quick second, like they had our mental health professionals from our team actually help them curate their resources, right? So they got some help from some other groups too, but like they went to Jean-Luc, Dr. Goku, and Tap the Zap Matt. They went to them like right away, and they were able to give them a huge amount of support, and they have in turn given Guardians a ton of support too. So it's been really great to work with them.
Salute. Keep doing the thing, man. I love to hear it. Love to see it.
Well, as we're running a little bit long, short outros from my co-host here real quick, Travis. Look for that Xenoblade. See if I can say it right. Xenoblade review coming.
Yeah. Check out my reviews, my previews on IGN.com. Follow me on Tag Guy Travis if you have a thirst for death. Other than that, I'll see you next week, and stay frosty or whatever.
I believe the word is McClunky, but anyways, we broke Travis.
McClunky, damn it.
Tired. That man tired and he need to eat.
Yeah.
I need to write my review. I'm looking at the clock going, I'm running out of time. So
yeah, we got to get him his review. So quick, every Sunday, the Lord's Day, Iron Lord podcast. Please salute. Shout out to the Defiling Duke. Send Maddie some love. He heard his back. So I'd host it this week. Come check out me, Randall Thor, and Mr. Ben Smith talk about what's going on in Xbox. And yeah, man, that's pretty much. Oh, Lords of Gaming.net. Go check out some articles and go see some stuff. You got some cool people over there.
As for me, it's Ebontis everywhere. If you want to support me, thing to watch right now, watch my Solstice video, sponsored video. So it just definitely helps me out. As for everybody, thank you, chat. Thank you, of course. Big shout out. Pleasure to have you on here. Irrezolut. Appreciate the chat. Yes. Very easy discussion and fun time tonight with everybody. So thank you all very much for episode number 207. Wow. Next week, Aztecross is on, so don't miss it.
Whoa, the
Ross! You got Aztec Ross? Oh, that's
Aztec Ross.
Aztecross is coming.
Cross is great. I bet he's a nice guy. I was just messing around.
So don't miss next week live show. And other than that, thank you guys for episode 207. It has been
The Last Word.